Monday edition. And the only edition that matters, even though I think I have an interesting would you rather for Tausch and for Eleanor, the only edition that matters is the Mark Tauscher is back edition of Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course, WisconsinOnDemand.com, the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson's in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios, and without further ado, he's back and better than ever. He is the Packers Hall of Famer. He is the new full-time color analyst voice of Badger football. And he is done with his summer sabbatical part 2.
They gotta get the triple off wall.
Thanks to all of our great cousin subs who filled in for him. Cousin subs, we believe him better. But our show is always better when he's on the program. Tausch, welcome home.
It's good to be back, Jason. Jesse, I didn't think I'd ever say this, but I actually missed you guys. I missed you guys a little.
You're just saying that.
No, like legit. We had put this trip on the calendar a while ago. We went over to Barcelona, and we went to Portugal. So we had this set.
You got to use your Portuguese.
Yeah, you know, it turns out I went to a Portuguese Catholic mass, and my Portuguese sucks. Like, I don't know anything about Portuguese. I don't.
I'm shocked by this.
A matter of fact, when Eleanor asked, "How do you say thank you?" I'm like, God. And then it came to me after I heard 4 other people say obrigado. But I did get some really good compliments because I did remember the inflection on these things when I said it. So my inflection points were good. It was my knowledge of the actual language that sucked. So no help. We sat through a mass. I don't think any of us knew anything, but it was good. There's a lot of things that are different about Europe compared to the U.S.
You don't say.
It's uncanny. Did you know, we did not draw up, this is on me and Eleanor. We had trivia drawn up. I did not get it to Jesse, and it's gone, so I'm just going to play it. Did you know what is the second oldest city in Europe?
I'm gonna go Lisbon.
You nailed it, Lisbon. Isn't that
way to use the context clues there, Jesse? Nicely done.
Well, it could have said Barcelona, which I didn't realize. Yeah. Did you know Barcelona is trying to break away from Spain? They're trying to start their own. They want their own country. They don't want to be part of Spain anymore. Yeah,
like
so I learned that. Is Texas trying to break away? I know parts of Oregon are because we were out there. So, anyways, the trip was great, but there was there's a couple of things that I noticed. The buildings, the art, everything is just a lot prettier in Europe when it comes to, because they're what are they, 1,000 years older than us or whatever. Some of these churches, 1,200, a couple are 500. Like it's old. Mm-hmm. And then the other thing that I noticed on this trip, and it kind of made me sad, is I'm getting really old. I am getting very old because remember when Sammy Sosa hurt his back sneezing? You remember that? He missed games when he sneezed. He had a big sneeze, and then he missed like 5 weeks or whatever it was because he thought he herniated a disc. Yeah. That's why I always sneeze. I don't do the big sneezes. I'll usually sneeze 5 or 6 times. Okay. That's all comes back to Sammy Sosa. Well, one of the spots we stayed was in Porto, which is I never heard of. I didn't know it existed. It's a second biggest city in Portugal, which, did you guys know that?
I learned that today.
Did not know that.
I didn't even know it was a city. I didn't realize how big Portugal is. Again, another thing, I talked about this with Vinny and the boys this morning. I go on these trips, and I just assume things. I don't plan. Sarah plans. When we went to Australia for our honeymoon 15 years ago, I thought Australia was really small because you look at the map on the globe and you're like, oh, it's a little small, nice little pretty country. It ends up being as big as the U.S. You get there and we had another 3-hour flight. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Well, I felt the same way about Portugal because you always look at the map and you think, oh, Spain's this big, massive land. And then Portugal's this little baby strip on the left-hand side. It's not. There's a lot of travel that goes within that little baby country because I found out Portugal's not that small of a country. It's much more land mass than I thought. So learning all of that, we are in Porto. And we're in a very nice hotel with a hot tub, a pool, a sauna. So before we got up to do our big thing, they had limited pool hours for the kids. So we got up and I went in the hot tub, got in the sauna. And as I got out of the sauna, I went back in to get a quick soak before we left. Well, turns out 2 people had come in and they turned the bubblers on. So it's bubbling over, right? So I can't see the steps. Oh. Here I am. I'm a 46-year-old former NFL athlete. And
keyword
former by a long time. I end up missing a step.
Oh, no.
And my hamstring popped.
Oh, no.
This was middle of the trip. So fortunately, Barcelona, again, for anyone that listens a lot, we walk a lot when we're on vacation. We logged, I think Sarah had us at 70 or 80 miles, which is over the 12 or 13 days. We walked a lot. Portugal is like San Francisco in a lot of ways, and Bayfield for all of you, Bayfield in Wisconsin. Very hilly. I feel it twinge, and I know this ain't good. And it all came from the fact that the bubblers were on and I missed a step. And it really made me think, I know we all have had injuries that we don't really want to talk about. There's baseball pitchers would be moving, or the one, Devin Williams punching a hole in the wall. This was one of those that I thought, how on earth could this happen to me? And I've come to the conclusion, I'm just old.
What day of the trip did this occur?
Exact middle. Now, in fairness, so I didn't, when I never really pulled, other than tearing my groin off the bone, which I don't consider a pull. I never had a ton of pulls because, as someone once told me, fat doesn't pull. Usually when you're, that's what John Daly has said. We've seen that. So I didn't have a ton of pulled muscles when I played. Now, I had ACLs, I had shoulders, but never this. But I did pull a hamstring one time bad in a off-season workout when we were doing sprints, and it was 3 or 4 weeks. I knew that this wasn't as high up on the belly of the hamstring. So I said, I'm going to fight through this. But the problem is every time I stepped down the hill, the tug, I kept feeling the tug. So I gutted it out. We still did it. It probably went a little slower than normal, but I ended up gutting out the last 6 days with a pulled hamstring.
God, you're a gamer. Wow. Thank you for your service.
Yeah, wow. It wasn't easy. I wanted to set an example for the kids. They complain about, something here. And I said, you know what, you guys, everybody can fight through an injury if it comes up. But anything like that happened to you guys? If you guys had any of those, I can't believe I'm not going to allow this injury to limit my vacation or for Jesse bowling or whatever it might be.
Yeah, well, it was just a few weeks ago where I thought I suffered a Lisfranc injury walking back from the mailbox, and I toughed it out on 12 North with a very sore left foot, and very similar, hilly, very difficult terrain, but I toughed it out because Sydney wanted to play golf, and we were going to play golf at that great par 3 course that our friend Andy North designed. Not exactly the same as traipsing around Europe with a pulled hamstring. But thank you for your service. That's awesome. You're a gamer, no doubt about it.
Yeah, and then the other thing I noticed too, there's a lot of other things. I'm not gonna, because there's so much stuff going on, Badgers, Packers. I'm gonna sprinkle things in.
Ration it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna ration. The other thing that I noticed that was really interesting about Europe compared to the U.S. You know how people say when you're in the U.S., I'd take this guy in a back alley with me, or I'd go in the foxhole.
Sure. Yeah.
You typically, anytime you hear back alley, it's like I'm going to get in a fight. You don't want to be walking alone. That's when you think in the U.S., right? When you're in these European cities, the alleys are the prettiest part of the whole cities. They designed their alleyway as being like the focal point of their entire entertainment district. Is that not odd that there could be that big of a difference?
No, wait a minute. There's like opera houses and galleries.
Jesse, let me tell you something.
Squares,
they build these alleyways
statues
with restaurants and outdoor patios and like all of these flags and all this beautiful decorative things. They utilize, I wonder why it's so hard for us in the U.S. to utilize that same space in a better way than what we're doing. We put dumpsters and old batteries and just junk.
Well, where are their dumpsters then?
Old batteries?
I don't know. I don't see dumpsters. What I saw was
no
really
garbage in Europe. No wonder it's so beautiful.
Trust me, there's a lot of garbage in Europe. But
well, where do they
don't
keep
have
it?
If you go into an alley in the US, you're not going to be pleased. You go into an alley in Europe, you're thinking this is the best spot in the entire city. Like, why is it? How can that possibly be?
Having never been to Europe, I'll just take your word for it and admit that I'm confused as to why.
I think the Alps would have something to say about that. Or...
Well, Jesse, obviously, churches and all the architectural things, but I'm telling you, we had dinner we had more dinner in alleys than I've ever been in my life. And normally, you take the garbage out and you fire it in the back and you dump it in the alley. We're sitting there having great Portuguese food in the back alleys, and I'm thinking, I said something, and Sarah's like, "That's going to be a show topic," and I said, "Yes, you're right." It was amazing to me, and I think I don't care what happens politically, anything else. I think whoever ends up as the next president or governor or senator or whatever it is, I want the state of Wisconsin to really look at alleys and say, I want to make alleys great again. I want to get alleys like European. That's what I think would be a great move to clean up and make these cities that much prettier and better. Can you imagine sitting in an alley in Madison or in Milwaukee or in Green Bay and saying, this is gorgeous? Nobody can even envision that right
not
now.
Better than like a rooftop or on the Capitol Square. Like if you're at the Old Fashioned on the Square, which has an alley behind it because our studio used to be, would you rather be in the back alley looking at a bunch of bricks of other buildings?
Jesse,
or would you rather look at the square?
Whoa, Jesse, their alleys don't end. Their alleys are thin and they go forever. So your viewpoint,
Are you sure these aren't streets?
No, they're alleys.
It sure sounds like
they are alleys. And
sounds a lot like a street to me.
And
sounds like East Wash.
If you, Jesse, would sit at Old Fashioned and have that alleyway open up to the Capitol, you would think you're in heaven. That's what Europe is all about.
There's a street that goes right to the Capitol. It's the Capitol Square. There's a road. There's a beautiful view. What do you need the alley for?
Jesse, all I'm telling you is we underutilize alleys.
All right.
We make them out to be bad news bears, and I think we as a society need to start utilizing the alleyway as a more important feature in our entertainment than turning it into dumpsters. That's all I'm saying.
All right. Well, I will bring this up with Governor Evers the next time I see him, although while you were gone, he was at Packers practice. And he came over and shook my hand while I was on the air. And then I asked him when he and his lovely wife and you and I are going to play our pickleball game. And I don't think his staff appreciated me holding him up. I got a lot of dirty looks. It was a topic on the show. So when I propose Tausch's Make Alleys Great Again act of 2024, I will make sure that I put you at the forefront of that because his staff probably hasn't forgiven me yet. One other question before we move on, as you so eloquently put it, to sprinkle and ration your European vacation stories throughout the week. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in the calendar year now, London for Packers Giants, France for Naked Ballet, and now Spain/Portugal for your family trip. That's a lot of European. power rank those 3 trips
Ooh.
for us, please.
I like that. Well, I would normally say London would have been higher, but London's finishing a distant third when it came to the fact that the Packers didn't want to be there. Their coach didn't want to be there, and we got our brakes beat in by I guess it ended up being a better New York Giants team. I'm going Lisbon/Barcelona second, and then Paris is a big winner in that. Okay. So that would be my power rankings of that. But I'll say this. The city I never heard of, didn't know existed, is number 1 on the overall list on my trip. Porto would be the number 1 city on our list. And both of my kids agree with me on that over Paris. So Porto.
Wow. All right. Well, your power rankings when it comes to replacement windows and doors, we know who is way, way, way ahead there. I am curious, though, because I've been listening to you talk about it, even though you were gone. You have Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, so I'm a little confused by the commercial in which you've got like a mosquito zoo and incoming in your house. So,
well, I was at a different house. This wasn't at my house. I was trying to help out the family that I was at. This wasn't at our house.
But you're answering the door when Gina walks up?
Yeah,
well, yeah, it was a VRBO. It was a VRBO.
Oh, it was a Verbo, sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I hope.
What's so hard for you guys to understand? It's a Verbo.
No idea.
How did we miss that?
Didn't hear that mentioned in the ad. All right, so
Jesse, hey Jason, you don't have 5. It's unlike you asking a question to a player, coach, or GM. We don't have 25 minutes to do when we're talking on
true.
A TV commercial.
Well, you got all kinds of time here on this show to make us late for break. So it's great to have you back, and it's great to hear you live and in color talking about Gina Della and Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Oh, and let's talk a little bit about the birds and the bees. We're not going to get into alleyways today. We already did that. But let's talk a little bit about nature. And we want to keep all of that nature out of your house. I don't care if it's a VRBO rental, if it's your own house, if it's somebody else. You want to keep that out. So get the 250 series from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. It includes exclusive hidden screens, which can stay inside the window while you're not using it. And if you bundle and save the 250 series patio door and 8 double hung windows with exclusive hidden screens, you can pay as low as $188 a month. That's $188 a month. Now that is a good deal. Visit PellaWI.com today to learn more.
Tausch is back from his European vacation, and we are back to football. The Badgers and the Packers getting closer and closer to the start of their seasons. It's great to have Tausch back. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
Olson Toon has been customizing both residential and commercial outdoor living spaces since 1997. Matt Hamilton here from ESPN Madison. For over 50 years of combined experience in their management and design teams, Olson Toon has become one of Wisconsin's premier building and landscaping outdoor living firms. Landscaping and maintenance, irrigation, concrete work, pools, and more. If you have an outdoor living need, Olson Toon is here to help. Go to olsontoon.com to get started on your home project today. That's olsontoon.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
I'm coming!
Hi, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, you have mosquitoes in here.
It's like an insect zoo right now at my house. Here comes that wasp again. Incoming!
Shoo, you need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens, protecting you from nature.
Yes, please. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
Hey, it's Jason Wilde for Associated Bank. Packers fans, can you feel the excitement in the air? Preseason football is upon us. And if you want to rep the green and gold, they've got you. With Packers checking from Associated Bank, you can make every transaction a touchdown with an exclusive Packers debit MasterCard. Plus, every Packers checking cardholder scores 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop, both in-store and online, all year long. Learn more at AssociatedBank.com/Packers. Member FDIC.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin Sports. Catch up on anything you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of Wisconsin Badger Athletics. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, shop local, part of the Madison community since 1973.
Time to play more golf this summer with a membership at the Prairie Athletic Club. The Pack proudly put together the new ownership and management team at the golf course in Sun Prairie, renamed the Prairie Pines Golf Club. This is just another amenity the Pack has to offer both indoors and outdoors to members in the community all summer long. Call, stop by, or visit prairieathletics.com for membership and tee time details today. Prairie Athletic Club, family, fun, and community.
The traditions.
There's no team I love more than this team.
The drama.
Launching downfield, all the way to the end zone.
Only 5 days until week 0. College football lives here. ESPN Radio. This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
When I was a young boy living in the city, all I did was run. Staring at the lights, they look so pretty. Mama said, son, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna get old. All that glitter don't turn to gold. But until then, just have your fun. Boy, run. Yeah, run. When I was a young kid living in the city, all I did was pay. Never single dime back.
Tausch is back, and we couldn't be happier. The game, Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego, and Mark Tauscher, we have now gotten our answer on where he was. Because I didn't know. I thought he maybe was on another European trip, but I wasn't sure, and as everyone knows, it's best that I don't know things that people don't want being told because I'm a terrible secret keeper. Tausch, I'm curious. Do you get the NFL Network in Porto or Barcelona? Were you able to take in either of the preseason games that you missed while you were away?
No. I was not, but I did watch I got home in time to watch and listen to the game Saturday.
Oh.
And so I was able to see, and obviously I was paying attention and listened to some. We had a lot of travel on Friday and Saturday, so I listened to with you and Bill Johnson. I listened to you and Nordy, and to get a good idea of kind of what was going on, I was staying up to date, and I feel like I stayed pretty up to date. And it sounds as if, and in watching what I saw, I think the idea of Jordan Love stinking that some people thought, that's not going to happen. I feel that way.
Yeah,
I feel like we've seen enough good things from that end of it throughout the joint scrimmages that you saw with Cincinnati and New England and what he's done, that, yeah, he might not be an all-world great player. We don't know any of that yet. But the other thing that is so – I don't want to say it's irritating, but it's just kind of flummoxing to me is how you can say preseason's irrelevant and stupid, but then tell us how great all of these players are. You don't know until you're going on against the big boys. there's just still this uncertainty that you're going to have. You can only base things, I understand this, off of what you're seeing. But you're seeing a lot of positive things. I think as Packer fans, we should all be pleasantly surprised with what the progress we've seen, especially from some early young players throughout this preseason.
All right, so this is perfect. It's great to have you back, and it's interesting that our brains go to the same place after all this time that you've been gone, because for me, I would agree. And look, you and I never thought that he was going to be, to use your phrase about the team, some cellar-dwelling stink-pot quarterback. Neither one of us thought he was going to suck. But I do think that he has proven conclusively that he's not going to be god-awful terrible. I think we can both agree on that. Now, that said, the second half of your assertion is what I wanted to spend time on today, along with our positives and our negatives from the abbreviated Saturday game that the Packers played against the Patriots, which ended with 10 minutes, 29 seconds left in the game because of Isaiah Bolden's injury that he suffered. But there is part of me, and I am fully taking responsibility for this, because I'm not driving the love train, but I have definitely been on board it.
What do you think of the video so far? It's kind of a weird-looking shot.
He was just about to deliver a really good soundbite.
Hey,
come on!
Hey! Don't get on him. This is the show, okay? You forgot that this is the show.
So Jesse, I have this iPad. I bring
back
it all the way
Norton
up to Door County. I'm sitting here and I can't. We can't figure that out. So I'm sitting here holding this.
What do you mean by we?
Jesse and I trying to figure this out.
Well, that's because you don't have your IT department with you.
No, actually, I'm pleasantly surprised at how good I got the internet. I'm in a conference room. Like I feel like I had it all set up. It's just it's not working.
Yeah, my
all
point.
Right, continue with your point.
Yeah, I'll get back to that.
Standard definition Tausch today is all we're good.
I personally am a horizontal orientation video guy, so the vertical.
No.
All right, winner,
best
chicken
angle
dinner.
of the day.
All right,
Let's see if I can do this.
What's that?
There we go. Oh, yeah.
Paneling.
Next to a tree or what?
Yeah.
God, it's
like that.
It's really great to have you back. You know what? I'm going to make everybody wait for my
Wow.
Wow. Teasy.
That's very teasy. Great Coors Light polo, by the way. Nicely done.
Yeah, it's gonna be hot out here today. So because I know you're gonna tease your point, and I'm intrigued. But this, what did you think? I know everybody's saying all the right things, but now every time there's a major injury, what's the NFL going to do about? This has been 2 games now that have been shut down. DeMar Hamlin, I think we all look back and say it was the right decision.
Right. Agreed.
What is this? How are we going to? I understand it's a preseason game and nobody really cares, but I had somebody at dinner last night up here say, you know what? And they were trying to be as polite as they can because everybody's scared of saying something that's going to get them canceled or fired.
Yes, agreed.
I'm not scared of that. I'm going to say
they
basically told me. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to say what I think. I wonder because they came up from Arizona to go to this game, and while they got to see 3 quarters and 5 minutes, they didn't get the last 10 minutes, and they're just wondering is this going to continue? Would this have been canceled if it was a regular season game?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't think so.
That was the
I think that was the reasoning. This is a game that doesn't count. Let's just get the hell out of here. That's fine. Now, I would say this. The danger of doing it in a preseason game is now when it happens in a regular season game, there's going to be, maybe we should call it or maybe we should suspend the game. And the slippery slope argument is there. Now,
that's wide open.
I would say this, and you were on the field in 2005 when Terrence Murphy suffered the neck injury in Carolina. The injuries to Nick Collins in 11 and Jermichael Finley in 13, those were after your career was over. But the pit in your stomach does not ever go, it's always, you see that, you see the first responders and the medical staff, that pit just is there. You can't shake it. And I've always thought one of the hardest things to do in the NFL is after a play like that happens.
Move on.
And the guy gets carted off and into an ambulance and goes to the hospital. All right, let's keep playing now. So I get it. But because it was a game that didn't count, I had no problem with it. But had that been September 10th at Chicago at Soldier Field, they have to finish the game.
That's my point, yes. And I think we all want to be as sensitive as we can. And
correct.
There's obviously differing circumstances when you have someone that's not breathing and basically not alive on the football field. That is different than a concussion and things like that. So, again, I understand the whole thing, but the league, in a good way, has handled its business and looked at it more proactively. But I think you're seeing the fact that the league is looking at the preseason more and more. I think you're going to start seeing more joint scrimmages and less preseason games moving forward, and a probably sooner rather than later.
Except for the fact that now people are canceling joint practices. The Saints and the Texans were supposed to have them this week. They canceled them. The Jets canceled day 2 of their practices with the Buccaneers.
I would recommend only, and I saw Matt LaFleur say this, I would recommend only one day.
That was my great question.
One day,
thank you. Yeah.
A day off, and then go play the game and get the hell out of town.
Right.
I think 2 days, you're going to get sick of each other quick. The second day is going to be a lot chippier. You're going to have some vendettas that you're going to have that maybe, this guy took a cheap shot at me from yesterday. And then you're going to have a culmination of it in the preseason game. So one day, do your practice, have your walkthrough, play your game, get the hell out of town. That would be what I think is going to end up happening moving forward.
Start to make a point, get interrupted by the video challenges, get the hell out of town, and get to the next segment. That's what we'll do here, as I will make my point about our assessment.
Tease it out, though. Tease it out.
He was trying.
I love you, man.
Where's Gary Ellerson?
It's Wilde and Tausch.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
The traditions.
There's no team I love more than this team.
The drama.
Launching downfield, all the way to the end zone.
Only 5 days until week 0. College football lives here. ESPN Radio.
Zimbrick Chevrolet.
When was the last time you had your oil changed or your tires rotated? Do you need new tires, a battery, perhaps some windshield wipers? Zimbrick Chevrolet Service Center is equipped to help you with routine maintenance, major repairs, and everything in between. Get your free battery inspection coupon and schedule an appointment today at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Don't overpay. Shop Zimbrick Chevrolet on Main Street in Sun Prairie.
Main Street, Sun Prairie. Zimbrick Chevrolet.
I love being an orthopedic surgeon because I can help people improve their lives. My name is Ashish Raval. I'm an orthopedic surgeon at Stoughton Hospital and the Ortho Team Clinic. My specialty is sports medicine, focusing specifically on the care of the shoulder, hip, and knee. So the goal for me is always to see patients who want to get back to their active lifestyle. The techniques that I use now allow patients to return back to the activities, including sports, faster than ever before.
Learn more at orthoteam.com.
Mark Tauscher here to tell you a little bit more about Everlight Solar. We all know that electricity costs are on the rise. That's why you need to talk to my friends over at Everlight Solar. Their local team here in Madison is here to keep it simple. From your no-cost consultation to solar panel installation, the team at Everlight Solar will be with you every step of the way. Not only will they help you save money, but by switching to solar, you're also helping save the planet. Everlight Solar, a proud partner of Wisconsin Athletics. Check them out at everlightsolar.com.
Bringing summer gatherings to the next level is just another thing we do at Celebrations Entertainment. Hi, it's Jeffrey. With rental items like sound equipment, photo booths, and even yard games, you can make your event the party that everyone talks about. Any event like graduation parties, block parties, or even a backyard barbecue can be elevated with fun, interactive items to make everyone ask, hey, how'd you pull this off? Just tell them celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
You'll notice that some jewelry stores in the area are giving big, deep down discounts, as much as 60%. But you know what they're doing, don't you? They're just marking it up to mark it down. That's why for over 30 years, Chalmers Jewelers has offered you truth in pricing. You will always find great value on unique custom jewelry at Chalmers Jewelers, either in-store or chalmersjewelers.com.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Matt Hamilton here for Iron Jock. Believe it or not, being an Olympic curler takes a lot of practice time on the ice. And despite always being cool, I still work up a sweat. That's why I love Iron Jock and their no-stink technology. Silver ion technology is the how behind why it works, and that is about as technical as I can get with it. What I do know is that if I'm on the ice or just wanting to look good, I know Iron Jock has t-shirts, polos, and hoodies for me. Support this Wisconsin-based company today and get gear at ironjoc.com. That's ironjock.com.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
Like, share, and follow ESPN Madison everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok for more great content from ESPN Madison. This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way. I don't ever wanna feel like I did that day. Take me to the place I love. Take me all the way.
I was a little surprised when Tausch told us upon his return that he missed us. And I'm a little surprised with myself when I say I kind of missed being interrupted. Because let's be honest, there are times when I need to be interrupted because I'm a little long-winded. That wasn't one of those times, but that's neither here nor there.
Very frustrating.
So here is the crux of the issue, and we'll get to your positives and negatives probably in the 10 o'clock hour from Packers-Patriots. Packers lose 21-17 in an abbreviated game on Saturday night. But I agree with Tausch that Jordan Love has, to me and to many others, proven that he's not going to be god-awful, terrible, can't play the position, sucks, not going to be any good at all. Whether or not he's proven that he can be average, above average, good, very good, great, MVP great, Hall of Fame great, I don't think he's proven any of that yet. But
Bedingfield. Natasha Bedingfield.
It is yet to, it's still unwritten, yes. But I do feel like I have contributed to Love-a-Palooza because he has not struggled as much as I anticipated him to do. He did not have a great second practice against the Patriots. Now, there was a lot going on there, but he threw a couple of picks, including one to start the 2-minute drill that you couldn't blame on bad blocking or whatever else. That was on him.
Was it windy?
It was windy, yes. The wind knocked that and Anders Carlson's kick flat down. But I think, and I am including myself in this group because you've heard me say repeatedly, I really like Jordan, because I do. But to Tausch's point, we can't spend all this time saying the preseason is vanilla and it doesn't matter, and then be talking about Jordan like, oh my God, he looks so good. Now, here are the observations I can say, Tausch. He doesn't look frazzled. And I brought this up to both him and to LaFleur after the game, and you see plenty of young or inexperienced quarterbacks, even in preseason, look all helter-skelter jittery. And he has not looked that. The first play of the game, there's an issue with the clock, and he handles it. He just runs the play. Doesn't worry about any of the issues that have come up with it. He just goes. They get 6 yards on the handoff to Jones, and they're off and running. So I think you can observe that. But the idea to suggest that once they play the Bears or the Falcons and so on and so forth for 17 games, and teams are game planning for him every week, and they are bringing more exotic pieces of their defensive playbook at him, and he has to play 60 to 70 plays as opposed to 12 and 17, which is what he's done the last 2 games, it's going to get a hell of a lot harder. And there's going to be a hell of a lot more growing pains for him and for all these young guys around him, which is why they're playing the games in the first place, is so those guys get snaps together. But, Tausch, there is no doubt that all of us who want to see him be good have gotten a little bit swept away with what he's done in 29 preseason snaps that probably aren't as good as we are making them out to be. Do you agree?
So what I find interesting is we all are looking for information, right? Because he's played, Philadelphia played some snaps, had the big touchdown to Watson. Didn't play very well in a Kansas City COVID game, which I don't think anybody – he was not set up to win there. That was a failure on a lot of accounts. So we're all just trying to figure out, okay, who is he? What is he about? And is he any good? Because for everybody that's telling us he's Patrick Mahomes and anything else, no, we don't know that. We hope, but until you start seeing some signs. And the great thing from a Packer fan standpoint is he has really, I think, progressed the way you hope. He's taking control of the huddle. I think his mechanics of, game managing, the fact that he's stepping in and he's, we always are asking for wow throws and big plays. The touchdown throw he had was beautiful the other night. You just want to see signs of that you can build off of, and understanding that there's still going to be a lot of things that he's going to struggle with, because that's how this league works. People will find flaws and they'll pick at you until it wears you down. It's on you to continue to improve. He's improved. I don't think anybody up there, because you can listen back to what Goody and Matt LaFleur have said, and they're starting to, you can see they're gaining confidence too in some of the stuff they're saying. Mm-hmm. Because for everybody that, for me saying, well, it was a lost season last year, they should have done this, they could have had a year, all of those things, the season that's gone. That's over. Now, Jordan Love has shown that he is going to be a very competent NFL quarterback at this point. Now, is he going to be great? Is he going to be able to lead a team back from fourth quarter deficits? That's all part of the process to find out. But he is not going to be, Dan Orlovsky-esque, struggling early, or he's not going to be someone that doesn't know what the hell he's doing when he's out there in a regular season game. Now, that doesn't mean he's going to have moments that looks like, what the hell is he doing out there? That's still going to happen. But at least you've seen the signs of progress that you as a Packer fan can say, all right, this is exciting and this is better. I guess, and the poll question I was thinking of today is, has he been better than what you thought? Because I think there's some people that just blindly were hoping. Then there's some of us who are like, you know what? Everything that I'm hearing and seeing isn't great. This is leading into camp, leading into the offseason, after Rodgers is traded. The unknown. Well, the unknown has been better than I think you thought and than I think I thought moving into where he is right now. Mm-hmm. I think that's where most Packer fans are going to come down.
He has not had one of those just really awful practices. And I've mentioned this before. In 21 during the offseason, he had a practice where I don't think the ball hit the ground. And then the next day he was horrendous. Mm-hmm. And there have not been those huge peaks and valleys. He's been decent to and solid to good to very good in the practices we've seen. Ian in East Troy asks a question via the talk and text line, compared to other starting rookie quarterbacks, where do you think Love will rank at the end of the year? Well, he damn well better be better than all the rookie quarterbacks because he's not a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, that narrative of rookie quarterback, it's his first year as QB1. Again, he's set up to be more successful than I think everybody thinks. Now, yes, there's a lot of youth. There's going to be mistakes. But there is a difference in being Bryce Young or Ritter or any of these guys that are first and second year players in a system. This is his fourth year in this system. He has the mechanics and all of the verbiage down because Aaron Rodgers never showed up to preseason or to the OTAs and the mini camps. So that helps. So I don't think if he is not at the head of that class, going to be really disappointed. I think he will be, and I think we've seen enough at least now. But again, this is the part that I think is interesting, is that the preseason, you can't have it both ways. You can't say it's meaningless and it's vanilla and it's dumb. My point always is, because it is vanilla and it is this way, you better be good.
Right.
You better be showing good
point.
signs.
Yeah.
And if you're not, what the heck is going on? So you're seeing enough of it. Obviously, the first two drives, you had the snap from Myers and how that all played out. But the last drive, you saw things that you really like against New England's defense. And that's the part that should get you excited, because it's not going to be bing, 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 bing. It's going to be struggle. Hey, bounced back and came up and had a nice shot. Those are great building blocks for Jordan Love in this entire offense. And that's the part that I think Packer fans are most excited about.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy asked an interesting question this morning that I want to explore further with Tausch. We'll get to your positives and negatives to kick off the 10 o'clock hour. Want to remind you, and I saw my buddy Andy, the president of Associated Bank, not once but twice at practice in the last week. Almost as exciting as seeing the governor and talking about our pickleball game, much to his staff's disappointment. But it was great to see Andy, because it's great to be a part of Associated Bank. I'm so thrilled that they have the partnership they do with our show, and I'm also thrilled to be one of their customers because I get the best customer service in the industry. And Packers season is almost here, and it's time to make sure that if you're not happy with your bank, you make the switch now. And if you're a Packers fan, it's an even better time to do that, because you get all kinds of great perks with Packers checking from Associated Bank, including 10% off at the Packers Pro Shop, both in-store and online. So go to AssociatedBank.com/Packers to find out more. More evaluation of Jordan Love's impressive thus far preseason with Tausch next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB is hosting its annual Top Prospect Camp on Saturday, October 7th. Position players, pitchers, and catchers can showcase their skills for over 40 college coaches scheduled to attend. Registration is open to all players in the 2024 to 27 graduating years, and spots are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Sign up today at grbacademy.com. That's grbacademy.com. Rays Baseball. Raise your game.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. The Badgers men's basketball non-conference schedule has been finalized ahead of this upcoming season. Some of the highlights include a home game on November 10th, their second game of the season against Tennessee, heading to Providence later that week, kicking off the Fort Myers tip-off tournament against Virginia November 20th, a home matchup with Marquette on December 2nd, and a road game at Arizona on December 9th. Other home matchups include Arkansas State, Robert Morris, Western Illinois, Jacksonville State, and Chicago State. Find the full schedule at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Bundle a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens for as low as $188 per month at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin at PellaWI.com.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard, and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
Are you looking for a fast-paced job in a fun and exciting work environment? Look no further than Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. We offer a wide range of job and shift availability in both part-time and full-time positions. Competitive wages and great benefits await you at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Visit us in person or check out our website to see all of our job openings. Make work fun and apply for a job at Madison's only casino.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Got the chains tied up on the sidelines. The officials now walking over to help on the Sun Prairie West sideline. Oh boy, we've got a referee dropping to a knee, a second referee dropping to a knee as they look to untie these chains.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit CondonJeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Continuing our conversation about Jordan Love's progress. And Tausch, I'm sorry, I have to do a lot of scrolling through all the polls that Jen, Gabe, and Chewy posted.
Yeah, they do a lot of polls.
Pollapalooza. But this was how they phrased the question, and I wondered how you would have voted. Does the surprising play of Sean Clifford take a bit of the shine away from Jordan Love looking good in the preseason? They have so far garnered 481 votes, and it's 81.9% no, 18.1% yes.
So I saw this. I think you guys, I don't know who was hosting with you that day, posted something about Sean Clifford pushing Jordan Love for a starting spot.
No, that was more of a sociological experiment to see just how many, because there are people
that wouldn't have been Old T approved, but
that's
Old
okay.
T was here.
I think we have some theories on why some people voted the way they did, but nevertheless, I wanted to illustrate how small of a contingent that was. That's why we did that.
Sociological experiment. No, I think everybody knows that Jordan Love is going to be the starting quarterback. This isn't like there's Brian Brom versus Matt Flynn battle for the number 2 spot. The Packers obviously have seen enough in Sean Clifford that they got rid of Etling, and they feel like, hey, he's got some things we really like. We've noticed that, but I don't think any of that has anything to do with Jordan Love. The Jordan Love part of this, I think, stands alone and is evaluated alone on what he's been able to do and what he's been able to show leadership-wise and all of the other things. So there is I don't even look at those two being in the same tier as far as how it goes. Not at this point. Now, who's to say 7-8 weeks into the season we could start taking a look? But as we're sitting here right now, Jordan Love up here trying to figure it out. Sean Clifford's just a young and up-and-comer trying to make a name for himself. So I don't even think the two are in the same boat.
I would agree, but I think, and let's hear from Chewy here, because I didn't get to hear the whole segment when this conversation was taking place. But there's part of me that thinks that maybe the question is, like we were discussing, and that's why I went there, that the preseason, maybe the preseason, the way it's constructed, leads to some quality play that might be, I don't want to say an aberration, but maybe the fact that Sean Clifford's able to have success means that the success that Jordan Love's having, because remember the first game against the Bengals, they played one of their defensive starters, a safety. That was it. The rest was against backups. So here's what Chewy had to say, which I think is what prompted their poll question.
So here's where I'm a little jammed up.
All right, hit me.
The fact that Sean Clifford, the big red dog, looks pretty good kind of detracts for me with Jordan Love because it seems easy, right?
So
it's like the
guy who is a fifth-round pick who many thought would be undrafted,
yes,
going out there and looking good, detracts from Jordan Love looking good.
Am I crazy? Am I crazy?
Look, I did not think that was a take that was going to be said, but I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not wrong. Like, it's not, I had not thought about it that way, but it makes sense.
Yeah, that's how we kind of look at this thing, that, okay, it's this simple. They're doing arithmetic in ninth grade. When they should, let's get to where we're doing algebra or geometry.
But isn't that part of the beauty of this offense?
All right, so now it makes a little more sense to me of what his reasoning is. It's basically saying what we were discussing, which is
simple vanilla.
Are we making too big of a deal of what Jordan Love is doing against the preseason style of defense that he's facing?
Hey, Jason, let me put it to you this way. I think this is where Packers Twitter and I've scrolled a lot of tweets on my flight back, and you just hear, this guy's a stud. Well, this guy's going to be great. This guy's going to be great. Oh, and we all get caught up in this because there's such a small sample size. And you're playing against, and this is the unfortunate part, you're playing against a lot of guys that are going to be practice squad and not in the league.
Correct.
And you have to continue to, you don't want to look at it from that perspective because you want to look at it in a positive light. But the reality is, it's a lot different when you have first and second round picks and 7, 8 year, 9 year veterans that are established coming at you. And you have complex coverages and different blitz packages. It ain't the same. We all know that, but you don't have the luxury of evaluating things in that way. You have to evaluate what you see. And in fairness, that's all you can ask of these guys is to do what it's like when you're blowing somebody out and guys get in and get some garbage time. Hey, that's a big deal to those guys, that they're getting those opportunities and that they can showcase what they're at, because you get a better sense of who a player is when it's one-on-one and it's vanilla and it's, all right, can you beat this guy? But yes, it's hard to evaluate when you're not dealing against the level of, it's basically like, Chewy said geometry, trigonometry, that, and I don't think that's a bad analogy, but it's why these guys from South Dakota State and North Dakota have to prove when they're not playing against the SEC. It's real easy to be back there playing against Winnebago State. It's a lot different when you got the Georgia Bulldogs and you have 10 NFL first and second round picks coming at you. You can go ahead and ask these guys that play against Georgia and Alabama, hey, is that the same as playing against Valdosta State? When you have Jalen Carter screaming off the edge or up in the middle, and you have to block them 70 times compared to blocking Lenny Frisco? No, it's not. I'm going to be a lot better player against Lenny Frisco than I am against Jalen or anybody else.
Hey, can you next time you talk to Jason Eck, the head coach of the Idaho Vandals, could you ask him what was it like to prepare for Lenny Frisco and that vaunted defense of Winnebago State, which I did not know was in their conference, but I'm very curious.
Great fishing. By the way, great walleye school. Winnebago State.
The Fighting Walleyes, yeah, they were very good. If you did not hear Jen, Gabe, and Chewy's full conversation that we just heard a little bit of, you can always find it on Wisconsin On Demand, presented by Grubel Offices. One call, that's all. Thanks to David and his team for supporting the show and their show and all of our shows. And Wisconsin On Demand, Grubel Offices, one call, that's all. We will kick off the 10 o'clock hour with your positives and your negatives. Your one positive, your one negative from the Packers' preseason abbreviated loss to the New England Patriots. That kicks off the 10 o'clock hour, which kicks off in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Pasquale's Cantina, the hottest restaurant in town, where the food is spicy and the drinks are cold. It's time to put on your shades and cruise over to the hippest southwestern joint in town, where the fiesta never ends.
Picture this, the Arizona Ranch Pizzadilla, a crisp flour tortilla with grilled fajita chicken, Jones cherrywood smoked bacon, barbecue sauce, cheddar jack cheese, spiced ranch, and scallions. All served like a pizza. Pasquale's, Middleton, and Verona, bringing the flavors of the Southwest to the Midwest. Pasquale's Cantina.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson, Sports Center, brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out at 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. Plenty to react to from the Green Bay Packers' second preseason game against the New England Patriots Saturday night at Lambeau Field, including a solid performance for quarterback Jordan Love. It has many of the national analysts talking about how successful they think Love and the Packers offense could be in 2023. Check out a lot of that commentary over at ESPNWisconsin.com. The Get Up crew is all over it this morning on ESPN. Rob Domofsky with plenty more from Titletown over at ESPNWisconsin.com, as well as the Packers gear up for the final preseason contest this Saturday at noon, hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Reactions continue with positives and negatives on Wilde and Tausch as Tausch returns, coming up next, right here on ESPN Wisconsin and Wisconsin On Demand. Baseball, big weekend for the Milwaukee Brewers. Last weekend, they swept the White Sox. Then they got swept by the Dodgers. And then the Brewers swept the first-place Texas Rangers to wrap up the 9-game road trip. Brewers are off today before hosting the Twins tomorrow night.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
I've been grinding so long, been trying it for years. And I got nothing to show, just climbing this rope right here. And if there's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I finally found my hallelujah. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Now all my dreams are coming true, yeah. I've been waiting.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Before we get to positives and negatives, Jesse, you know I don't watch Get Up. I'm more of a Good Morning America guy, although we had a bit of a situation this morning that's going to make for a very good Would You Rather for a little bit later in the program with the Terminator over there with the sunglasses on.
Sunny up here in the
Nice
door.
shades there, old T.
Future's so bright. But what was going on not First Take, Get Up this morning? A lot of love for Love. Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, yeah. Dan Orlovsky, your guy. Dominique Foxworth.
Totally unbiased. Almost getting a job with the Packers. Yeah.
You go over to ESPNWisconsin.com right now. Top of the page. Can Jordan Love and the Packers be contenders this season? Heck yeah. They're talking the C word there. Contenders in 2023. We got McElroy saying the Badgers are going to be TCU. Now Packers right back where they left off in 21.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Big year. Football.
Yeah. I appreciate the positivity. All right, Tausch, speaking of positivity, you were back from Barcelona in time for some Packers-Patriots before it was truncated by the injury to Isaiah Bolden. What was your biggest positive that you took out of that game?
I keep looking at, Dobbs obviously is, had a couple of big plays, Watson, the receiving core. But to me, the Zach Tom, I think the situation is settled. I'd be shocked if he is not your starting right tackle. And I don't know if they've announced that yet.
They have not.
I know everybody is all up with, Josh Myers, and I think that narrative, I don't know if you want to evaluate his entire training camp, they obviously wanted to push him. But unless you have to, Zach Tom has looked really good out at right tackle. And you see Twitter clips, you watch highlights on some of these big plays. He's getting manned up, and he is finishing his block. You just keep seeing and hearing all the right stuff about Zach Tom. So hopefully that group, with David Bakhtiari staying healthy and can play, I think for as much as we've evaluated how Jordan Love's going to be and what that offense can look like, if you can get those five and they can play a vast majority of the season, and if Josh Myers doesn't – the thing that would bother me right now is the center quarterback exchange, and that would be my negative for the day.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of those. You hear them in training. It happens, it feels like almost every day at training camp and whatnot. And that's something that happens early in camps, but it clears itself up. One of those plays a game, what happened in that New England game, those plays get you beat. One of those things gets you beat. But my positive for sure for me is I think Zach Tom solidifying and I think grabbing hold of that spot and the fact that he's going to be out there. And I think the future and why I'm wearing these shades outside of the sun beating down on me in this space is I think the future offensive line, when David Bakhtiari ends up leaving or if he gets hurt, I think you can feel pretty doggone good about where this group is, especially when you start looking at other preseason football games and if you want to talk about the New York Jets and you want to talk about other O-lines, it's ugly out there. And Brian Gutekunst and this staff, Butkus and Steno and all the guys, they deserve a ton of credit because they continue to evaluate and churn out more good players than not. And I know you can come back and say, well, what about Sean Ryan? And what about blah, blah, blah? What about this? Those are fair, but you're not going to have a 100% hit. What they've been able to do over the last 15 years has been pretty doggone good. And whatever they're doing evaluating offensive line play has been very, very, very good.
All right, so a lot to unpack there. Let me start with this. Why don't they like Yash
off now that the future's so right?
Why don't they like Yosh Nijman as much as we do?
Well, I think here's always the deal. You draft young players that have the, measurables. They're big. You got Rasheed Walker and Caleb, and you start looking at size and arm length and all this other stuff. I don't know if they feel like they could do better. But
clearly they feel that way.
They do. But what you keep seeing is when you're down a guy or you have that trusty old swing tackle or whatever it is, Yash still gets out there. And when Yosh Nijman plays, he's not the dominant. He's not going to be David Bakhtiari, but is he a service? And I hate this word, but it's, I think, apropos here. Is he serviceable that your offense is going to be able to go function when he's out there? Yes.
Right.
It is. And scouts and evaluators are always looking for upgrades. And I think for whatever reason, while most of us think Yash is a very serviceable, solid NFL player, they want to be that next level. And they're always searching for it. And that's why I'll be curious when everything settles and you're heading into that first week against the Bears. Is Yosh Nijman going to be your swing tackle? Or they're pushing Rasheed Walker out there a bunch as somebody that they like too.
Right.
I don't think you'd want to trade Yash. I know there's a lot of Packer Twitter out there that's saying, well, trade Yash. Get something. Yash Diamond's going to get he'll get a nice contract next year with somebody else. If you can't get a third or better for Yash from somebody and you feel really good about Rasheed Walker being your swing tackle, because for as much as we all love David Bakhtiari, I don't think anybody thinks he's playing 17 weeks.
No. Nor is he playing for this team next year.
No, for as much as I was surprised that he's back this year, he will not be back next year. This is the time to build, and I'll be curious if Yash Diamond's going to be that guy, because I thought he'd win that right tackle spot. I think, well, maybe they like his versatility, that he can play left tackle, right tackle. They obviously want to do better. That's what this starting Rasheed, that's what this is about. So I'll be fascinated to see, is he going to be your swing tackle when you're only dressing 7 or 8 linemen? And I would bet that will be the case unless they find a way to trade him and get what they want value-wise back.
And I would think that what they will do is, if David Bakhtiari has to leave the game, Yash will come right in. If a guard or the center has to come out for an injury, they will move Zach Tom, and Yash will go in at right tackle. That's what I think they're going to do. Okay. But you're right. They are pushing Rasheed Walker, and he did start in David's place in the game. And obviously they don't have quite as much information on him either, so it made sense that they would want to see more of him. They've seen Yash for the last several years. And last year...
But the interesting part of that is, and we all thought, well, if Jordan Love's going to... I remember there was a debate 2 weeks ago. Is Jordan Love going to play in the preseason? I was like, why the heck would he not play? And then it's like, well, then you have to play David Bakhtiari. Well, it turns out you don't. So that tells you that this isn't – and I can remember when Mike Sherman came up to me before my first preseason game with Brett Favre, and he said, man, we got a $100 million quarterback. Can we put you out there to play in front of him? And I was like, well, man, I sure hope so. You know, the old 10-cent lock on a $100 million safe. That was one of the quotes that I heard. You must trust
10 cents. That's not fair.
I didn't think it was apropos. But that's where you know that they trust Rasheed Walker. They wouldn't put him out there if they thought he stunk or it was some big project. They would put Yash out there. Mm-hmm. That tells you a lot about how they're evaluating old number 63.
All right, so the other point that you made as your negative was the snap. Now, they had an incident during family night where Jordan Love didn't send the motion guy on time, and it threw off the timing, and obviously the ball was snapped in that 2-minute drill by Josh Myers, and so there was that issue. And then this one, Josh Myers thought the defensive lineman had entered the neutral zone. He was wrong. Jordan Love was right. He had not. So Jordan Love wasn't expecting the ball, and Myers sent it back anyway. It does sound, and you helped me with this because you played with Rodgers as he developed being so good at the free plays. It sounds like that is not the easiest thing to do, because if you, as the center, wait too long, they're going to stop the play, and you're not going to get your free play. But if you do what Josh Myers did, it turns into a turnover, and we haven't even gotten into, which I want to talk about a little bit later in the show, the perils of Jordan Love going after that ball and extending his arm to try and get it, and there's big guys jumping toward him. But how hard is that as an offensive lineman? I know you weren't the center necessarily, but that is a valuable little piece to have that free play where you could try for the big play with no repercussions. But if you mess it up, you have an incident like you saw on Saturday night.
Well, you better make sure, and this was something you noticed Rodgers at the end here when Myers was his center, he'd get mad. There's nothing he loved more than to do that.
Correct.
And so Josh probably felt it. And the issue is you have to have the experience and understanding, because it's not worth it if you are wrong.
Right.
Then if the guy jumps and goes, he's going to kill your quarterback, or you're going to have a snap situation like that. So I think for as much as I love the fact that Jordan's trying to add that in and learn from what his predecessor did, I'd like a little bit more time that they work that out and make sure they have it dialed in compared to, well, and the nice thing is it's a preseason game, and I want to see you take risks and try that. But would we be saying that if he got Drew Brees, where his shoulder gets all jammed up and he's dislocated, he's out, and his shoulder's shot.
Right.
Then we'd be like wondering, what the hell are you guys doing? So there's a give and a take, and you try to figure out what the right thing is. But I want to have an aggressive mentality. I want my center. Scotty Wells got really good at it. Flanagan was good at it. I think J.C. Treader and Lindsley, they got good at it because they practiced it, and Rodgers was adamant that this is something you better be able to do. And he would be so pissed at the centers when they didn't do it. The centers got really itchy to make sure that they were doing it. So it is a valuable thing when it's done right, but it can be disastrous, as we saw. I mean, it wasn't disastrous, but it could be when you don't get it right.
All right, those are our positives and negatives. We'll get to yours, 844-770-3776. Also want to get to some of the conversations we had throughout the week with Matt LaFleur and with Goody on Friday. Something really interesting that he said that I want to get to a little bit later in the show. But first, Tausch is back. He was not at Fortria during his 2 weeks, although he could have made himself a big chunk of change if that would have been where he'd been. But instead, he was traveling. If you are looking to make a couple extra bucks, Fortria is a perfect place to do it.
And let me tell you, if you're going to do European vacations or other vacations, you want to have a couple extra bucks in your pocket, and I would be eligible for Fortria clinicaltrials.com if you're looking for that extra cash. You want to get out to Vegas for that Devontae Adams revenge game out there. It'll be exciting. Fortria has a couple different options for you. Healthy adults ages 18 to 60 with a BMI of 18 to 32. That study involves 2 stays of 15 nights, and you can grab yourself $13,820 for your time and participation, plus $300 per qualified participant. I also have another trial, healthy adults ages 18 to 55 with a BMI of 18.5 to 32. That study, 1 stay of 14 nights with 2 follow-ups, and you can be compensated 6,500 bones. Again, go to FortriaClinicalTrials.com. That's Fortria, Fortrea, clinicaltrials.com.
We'll get to some of your positives and negatives next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Toscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust. Well, training camp practices and preseason games are great opportunities for the guys up in Green Bay to make sure they're fully ready for their regular season performances. And if they didn't work on things before the games count, there could be some big mistakes that happen in the regular season. Well, the same goes for car maintenance. Get your vehicle checked before you go on a long road trip or an issue comes up during an important, busy time in your life. And there is no better vehicle service team than the team I trust over at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. You can get a tune-up, check the battery, check your tires, change the oil, and make sure all the inner workings of your vehicle are in tip-top shape so you can focus on the fun of getting from place to place for whatever your next adventure holds and not allowing vehicle trouble to disrupt you. Schedule a service appointment, view vehicle inventory, and learn more about all they have to offer at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. That's ZimbrickChevrolet.com. Take my word for it and trust the fantastic team at Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
You can't miss a moment with Greeny.
I think it is a colossal mistake for these teams to be starting these rookies this quickly. I'm not saying that you should never start a rookie. We've gotten to a place now where the default is we're going to draft a rookie quarterback and we're going to start him unless he can't. I believe the default should be we're going to draft a quarterback and we're not going to play him unless it's so obvious to everyone that he's ready.
Weekdays noon to 2 on 100.5 ESPN.
If you're looking to fill the vacant space in your commercial building, the local agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group are eager to grow your bottom line. Head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wheatrick family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison, home of the Big Win and Madison Casino Guru, is transforming guests into winners. Making an ordinary day into a big win day is easy with a 95% average payout. And with over 140 daily jackpots, the number of people winning has never been bigger. So what are you waiting for? Escape to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison for your next big win.
Ho Chunk Gaming Madison.
Dash the Dane. That's right, Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company has expanded their delivery offerings with DoorDash. New customers get $5 off your first order of $25 or more. And don't forget, Dash Pass subscribers always receive free delivery. Order delivery today at GreatDanePub.com or on the DoorDash app and get food delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm Vice President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Hi, I'm Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock with Retirement Income Strategies. And what sets us apart is we're an independent, family-run office. We help clients like you understand the financial world and build a portfolio that's in your best interest. To learn more, go to MadisonMoneyGuy.com.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
All I need's a little love in my life. All I need's a little love in the dark. A little, but I'm hoping it might kickstart me and my broken heart. I need a little loving tonight. Hold me so I'm not falling apart. A little, but I'm hoping it might kickstart.
Tausch is back. We got a lot to get to. Jesse, what do you got from the text portion of the talk and text line on some positives and negatives?
First here, Lenny Frisco chimes in. Tell Tausch I resent his statement. It's Lenny Frisco from Winnebago Tech weighing in on the text line. So.
Oh, Winnebago Tech's a little bit better than Winnebago State. They're a little more physical up front.
Big rivalry, though, between those two schools.
Crosstown rivals, yeah.
Forensics. They're both very good in forensics.
So let's get to the real ones here. Jeff and Mequon, one positive, Jaden Reed is proving he's an NFL player.
Yeah, he looks good. He's got some Randall Cobb to him. He can go outside and he can be in the slot. What is that?
There it is.
Nah, he's got Randall Cobb in him. Hey, let's let this kid play a little.
Did you see the side by side that the dudes at Cheesehead TV put together?
I did see.
Yeah, you see who caught that ball on that play?
Oh, God.
Randall Cobb.
Okay.
For those of you that have not been on X,
I can't wait to see Jordan Love and Jaden Reed in New York in 12 years. That's going to be fun to watch.
Who's Alan Lazard in that equation, and who's Tim Boyle? I guess Sean Clifford would also be there.
They're watching some of the run blocking clips. We don't have an Alan Lazard at wide receiver yet. I have not seen that.
They do like Malik Heath as their next, to use Matt
LaFleur's
phrase, goon.
That's your guy.
One of many of my guys. All right, Jesse, what else you got?
Chad and Marinette, my positive, Jordan Love looks comfortable. He does not look like a first-year starter. That's so far, of course, it's preseason.
Yeah, Chad nailed it. That's what we were talking about earlier.
Chad's smart. Chad's smart.
Well, he's a Winnebago Tech grad.
Well, Marinette, that's up here where I'm at today. We're close.
You sure that's not a pseudonym for you? Maybe that was just you saying that.
No, it's definitely not. I can't figure out. I'm not going to be able to do trivia today because I can't pull anything up because of the video stream. So I just want to give you guys a heads up.
Wow, that's really interfering with your ability to read the show sheet that you never read anyway.
That's a fair point.
I wanted to read this one for you. So John G on Twitter.
John G.
His positive is Anders Carlson. Not only nailing all his kicks, but drilling the 52-yarder, which would have been good from 62, to me, was huge.
And more importantly, given the way things went in Cincinnati, they ended the game before he could miss any kicks. because he made his first 4 kicks in Cincinnati and then pushed his 2 wide right on the extra points. Look, Tausch, let's dive into this a little bit. Thanks to John G. for bringing it up. Again, we're going to let young guys have their growing pains. They ain't bringing somebody in to compete with them. They're not calling Mason Crosby. They are going to let him go through these, and they are going to be patient with the setbacks. And it's not like he, again, to use your favorite phrase, has been some cellar-dwelling stinkpot of a kicker. He has been inconsistent, and that's what young kickers are.
Yeah, I saw some of the clips with you and Goody, and I can't wait to delve into some of it. But the interesting part of that is every team I've ever been a part of and every program I've ever been a part of will continuously, and with Luke Fickell, all you hear is competition, competition, competition. They're competing. They do it in the beginning of practice. They're doing it in, Pete Carroll shooting baskets, and I think LaFleur brought a basketball hoop in. Everything's about competition. I wonder, how does Goody justify when he says we're going to let the growing pains go, which I understand where he's at. But you still have to have competition everywhere. Young teams need more competition than old teams do. And when you make comments like that, it kind of makes you think, and I know Anders Carlson knows he needs to make kicks. He does. He knows that. And is it going to help him if you have Giorgio Tavecchio come in and kick against him? Maybe you think it's not. Maybe you think that'll hurt his confidence. So they understand the psyche of these guys better than I do. But all I know is every team I've ever been a part of, I've never heard anybody say, no, he doesn't need any competition. We'll just let him work through it. Huh? That's Portuguese to me. I don't understand it. I've studied it, and I still don't understand it. So that's the part I can't wait. I know we'll delve into that probably in the 11 o'clock hour. But those quotes, I think Goody has to know when he says that. He has to cringe a little bit when he says those things.
All right, no, let's instead, let's call an audible. Let's can the play like you see Jordan Love do. Let's do that next. After you tell us about Coors Light, let's get to that because after the way he answered my questions about Mercedes Lewis, this has been on my mind ever since. And no GM is going to stand up there and go, I don't give a damn if we win 4 games or 8 games. I don't care. He's not going to say that. But the messaging is not that far from, we want to win as many games as we can, but if we don't, that's not the most important thing this season. The most important thing for you is to make sure that you see the Blue Mountains before you take a sip of your Coors Light.
You see these Blue Mountains. Let me see how.
Wrong side. Yeah, that one. There you go. That side. That's the side. Yeah.
Coors Light Blue
Very
Mountains.
tricky.
Coors Light is brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered, and it is cold packaged, so it's made to chill. And today, going to be piping hot out here at our golf outing. Oh, baby, does that sound good? The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans will be blue. That's when I know it'll be chilled to perfection. That's why it is Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We will hear the clip from Goody that Tausch is referring to, and we'll discuss it next. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com. The traditions.
There's no team I love more than this team.
The drama.
Launching downfield, all the way to the end zone.
Only 5 days until week 0. College football lives here. ESPN Radio.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm coming!
Hi, Mark Tauscher.
Tausch, you have mosquitoes in here.
It's like an insect zoo right now at my house. Here comes that wasp again. Incoming.
Shoo, you need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens, protecting you from nature.
Yes, please. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at titostailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Brewmate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit titostailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB is hosting its annual Top Prospect Camp on Saturday, October 7th. Position players, pitchers, and catchers can showcase their skills for over 40 college coaches scheduled to attend. Registration is open to all players in the 2024 to 27 graduating years, and spots are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Sign up today at grbacademy.com. That's grbacademy.com. Rays Baseball, raise your game.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for detail and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with national customer credit. Offer expires September 5th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Don't accept anything less than your best self. If you're feeling more run down than you did when you were younger, struggling to lose weight, losing muscle tone, trouble sleeping, and loss of libido can all be signs that you need to see Dr. Nestor Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. Jim Rutledge here. Change your life and see if hormone optimization is right for you. Don't settle for less than the best. Go to Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com or give them a call at 608-709-8089.
Medicine Money Guy Christian Finfrock here. Struggling to understand retirement planning, life insurance policies, or managing your wealth? Listen to my show every Saturday at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN or call me right now at 208-1800 for a complimentary consultation.
Hey, this is Craig Karmazin, founder of Good Karma Brands. Join Kyle Wallace and me every Sunday morning from 10 to noon for Sunday Karma here on 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Yeah. Ooh la la, but the pool is singing my line. June nights with the view, yeah, keeping us blind.
Let me be clear. I don't think the Packers in any way are tanking or aren't trying to win. That is not my opinion. That is not my hot take.
It sounds like you're putting a but and a caveat with your
well, here comes the buts.
Before something. Yeah.
Here comes the buts, But I don't think winning is their number one priority this season. I don't. I think they want to win as many games as they can while they're accomplishing their primary goal, which is getting all these young guys on offense experience so they can be a Super Bowl contender next year or the year after and get all through their growing pains so they have that opportunity because they know they don't have a Super Bowl team in 2023. That was the thought process behind this exchange, which comes after some of the things that Goody said in response to my question about Mercedes Lewis 2 weeks ago, in which he acknowledged that Mercedes is still a good player and that he is better than what they have at tight end right now, but he would take away snaps from their 2 rookie tight ends if he was here, so they don't want him. That prompted this exchange on Friday.
I asked you last week about Mercedes, and I'm not going to ask again.
Okay.
But I thought your answer was interesting, talking about how he can still play, but those guys need snaps, right? So I know you want to win as many games as you can this year, but it also sounds like you want to get all these young guys as much opportunity as possible, opportunity to get through their growth, to get growing pains, and maybe you can be really freaking good in 24 and 25.
Yeah.
How do you balance kind of the short term of wanting to win as much as you can with the long term of thinking, hey, if these guys grow together like I think they can, we need to get through the growing pains so they can be as good as they can be.
Yeah, I think we obviously we want to win every game, and we don't ever want to sacrifice that. But the goal here is to win a championship, right? We're not here just to win some games. We're here to try to win a championship. And sometimes you have to create room to get better, right? And you can't get better without plan. So that's part of it. It's not easy. Growing pains are never easy. But if we're going to win a championship, we have to get better. We weren't good enough last year. We have to get better. And sometimes you have to create opportunities for that to happen.
All right, Tausch, put your Tausch translator hat on. Create opportunities to get better. Growing pains. What do these words tell you?
It tells you it's a rebuild. That's what it tells you. But that to me isn't the most interesting part of what I just heard. Jesse, roll back that part where he said last year wasn't good enough. Because I don't
think he's capable of that. He has to play the whole clip.
Why? You can't fast forward. This isn't 1983. He's got access to it. I thought that part jumped to, because I'd heard him say these other things before, but the part that I think it really stung and surprised Brian Gutekunst how last year could happen. I think he was shell-shocked that last year happened.
I agree with that.
And he said, you know what, man, I ain't getting shell-shocked again. We ain't doing this. We're going to move forward because I think he knows for his own program building and for where his career is, if you did another year with Aaron Rodgers and it came out to how last year went and you lost Jordan Love, what are you sitting here with?
No, you're right.
That is what I think that was the most poignant part. And Jesse, I'm going to see how good you are. I want to hear that again and see if because you can get caught up in all the other stuff. And it is surprising to hear a general manager of an NFL team say that. But I think it's more about, I think he was completely blindsided and shell-shocked with how crappy last year went. Jesse?
Yeah, I think we obviously we want to win every game, and we don't ever want to sacrifice that. But the goal here is to win a championship, right? We're not here just to win some games. We're here to try to win a championship. And sometimes you have to create room to get better, right? And you can't get better without plan. So that's part of it. It's not easy. Growing pains are never easy. But if we're going to win a championship, we have to get better. We weren't good enough last year. We have to get better. And sometimes you have to create opportunities for that to happen.
It's not the greatest.
I told you. I told you.
Great edit, Jesse. That was exactly what
I
I
had to
hoped
comb
for.
through 38 seconds worth of a Wilde question.
No, you didn't. Don't blame Hey,
Judy.
Hey, no. Don't do that. Just own the fact that you could not trim it to last year was not good enough, which is what he asked for. Don't put the blame on me for the long question.
I also know we're all about context around here. Long clips and context.
Jason, I think that clip, Jesse, I'd like for you to put that on a sounder. Because when all of the stuff, let's say this season doesn't. What are you shaking your head?
He doesn't want to be forced to work.
Well, like a hotkey, like McCarthy.
Very
you want to have that?
frustrating.
You want that available at all times,
Jesse? Because I think if this season, let's say this season's filled with ups and downs, and there's a lot of losses, and we're always pointing to why is this season? Why are we in this position? That quote is why. That quote that Brian Gutekunst, him being surprised and shell-shocked by what happened last year is a direct reflection of why we're at the position with all this youth, inexperience, and non-competition for spots is because Brian Gutekunst couldn't believe last year happened the way it did, and he can't believe that this is the road they needed to go down. He did not anticipate being in this position. That's why he signed. So this quote while it's all the fun stuff that you played the 35 minutes of, the 10-second quote is, unlike last year when we weren't good enough. That hurt him. And he is now saying, I'm moving on. This wasn't what I signed up for. We need to do something different. That's the interesting part to me.
If we're going to win a championship, we have to get better. We weren't good enough last year. We have to get better. And sometimes you have to create opportunities for that to happen.
Still too long to be a hotkey.
I think you could just go, we weren't good enough last year. That's why you have to create ideas for opportunity.
Told you that's what was going to happen here. I told you that was what was going to happen. All right, now
I put my trust in the wrong people.
I want Gabe back.
I feel like Strofe would have had that dialed up like 2 seconds ago. But maybe
test them on Wednesday.
All right, so yes, because of course Jesse will be working from home with Mo. Look, this goes back to what we were saying in January, that he was going to go to Aaron Rodgers if he didn't in his exit interview and say, look, we need to rebuild on the fly here. We still want you back, but we're not bringing back Tunyon. We're not bringing back Mercedes. We're not bringing back Randall Cobb. We're not bringing this guy. And if Rodgers, and he knew Rodgers would say no to it, just like he knew Devontae would turn down more money once he was already on his way out the door in the trade. He knew Rodgers would say no. I would have loved for Rodgers to say yes to see how he would have handled it. But if that was his mentality, it was what we're doing is not good enough. If you're going to stay, we got to go through a reload, rebuild, whatever you want to call it. Give our guys room to improve so we can win a championship, because the status quo, even with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, ain't going to do it.
Yeah, I think we all kind of look at the NFL season, and we have ideas on how it's going to go. Goody felt, like I did, like a lot of, even with Devontae leaving, that last year should have been a championship season. And when it unfurled and they lost a bunch of games, I know you had them winning late and all this other stuff, the young guy, blah, 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 and it wasn't right. But I think Goody, I don't think we all in the media and as fans understood Goody's mentality until I just heard that quote.
His quarterback broke his thumb. Like, I am so tired of us ignoring that aspect, not because I love Aaron Rodgers. Not you. I'm not accusing you.
I was going to say,
but if Goody, the truth of the matter is, if Aaron Rodgers doesn't break his thumb, they still win 10, 11 games, and they still end up losing in the playoffs because they're not the best team in the NFC, and we're in the same place as they were the previous year when they were the number one seed, losing in the playoffs, not getting to the Super Bowl. So that doesn't change, and to your point, it wasn't going to be good enough to win a championship. But if Goody really thought that they had a championship team last year after trading away a Hall of Fame wide receiver and replacing him with a bunch of rookies, then that's on Goody. Because you had a Hall of Fame quarterback that may have been good enough to get you to an NFC championship game if he hadn't broken his thumb. Maybe not. But come on. When your offense becomes what their offense became last year, without one of the best wide receivers in football and a defense that you overestimated how good it was, if you thought they had a championship team last year, that's on you. Because that's not what they had. They had a good playoff team.
Do you believe Goody believed that they were a championship
I do. I'm
team?
agreeing with you, but what I'm saying is I think he was wrong to think that, and I think that's one of the reasons why he was so shell-shocked, because he did not see it coming like maybe the rest of us did.
Yeah, I just did not see – I underestimated the amount of pain and disbelief that the general manager of the Green Bay Packers felt. I didn't know that until I just heard that quote. And I think you also heard it when they decided to move on from Aaron.
Yep.
Because that's why they moved on, because of the lack of success last year and all of the other stuff. But this part, I thought here, really emphasized the frustration and shell-shockedness that Brian Gutekunst felt after last season. And he said, I think he put it in his mind, I ain't doing this again because, A, I'm miserable, kind of like that quote you had him say that you put up with a lot when you're dealing with a quarterback.
That's what I was just going to bring up. Yep.
I know.
Because
I know you.
Well, it's great to have you back. Because that's what he was thinking. That's why he didn't want Roger. I put up with all this crap, and we still were sub 500. I'm not doing that again. You're exactly right. This is an extension of that quote.
And this quote that you just got out of Goody, which I think you've maybe heard a little bit, he lets some stuff out. That tells you everything you need to know about where this team is, why they're in this position, because you never hear general managers ever say, I'm gonna sacrifice competition to give people room to grow. This isn't Pop Warner. This isn't 7th and 8th grade football. Right. This is big boy NFL football that every year you're judged and graded on what you do. And when you're saying that lets you know I needed to strip these walls down and we needed to stud this thing out and reload, rebuild, redo it, because I'm sick of dealing with moldy wood and everything else. And what am I going to throw some plywood up and it's going to be rotted out in a year? Which, by the way, very well could have happened. And you just didn't realize the amount of disappointment. You could see that he was disappointed, but I think he was shocked.
Mm-hmm. I agree with
that it played out the way it did. And I don't think any of us anticipated hearing that from Goody.
Did you actually like it, though? Because I did. I liked
Which part? Which part did you like?
Our goal is to win championships, not just to win games. Like, that's been the knock on the Packers for the last decade. I liked that part of what he said. Like, we're going to sacrifice a little bit so that long-term we can win championships. I like that.
Jesse, I just have such a hard time with – again, I get it. I have a hard time with the idea of Titletown and Green Bay. And, again, this is just me being – at this point in my life, having the quarterback play and the franchise always chasing championship. This will be a first time for us in this group is saying, okay, even when McCarthy came in 2006, we still had Brett Favre, and it could have been complete delusion, and it turns out it was, that we had a team that could win. We ended up winning 8 games that year?
Yep.
And coulda, shoulda, woulda, all this other stuff. If these guys win 8 or 9 games with this mentality of let's grow, we don't need to have Mercedes Lewis and Mason Crosby and some of these other veteran players that we know would help us win this year. We'd rather let some of these young Musgrave and Kraft grow, have mistakes. We don't mind if Anders Carlson pushes a 37-yarder in Minnesota and we end up losing a game. You know who will mind? David Bakhtiari, Aaron Jones.
Right.
That's the part of this that's so tricky as a GM.
And that's the part that Jesse, I don't think you're understanding the level of admission that is involved here. They're not chasing a championship this year. That's what he said there. He didn't say those exact words, but, I really like what I heard. When's the last time the Green Bay Packers have suited up for a season and they weren't thinking, hey, we got a shot at going to the Super Bowl? Because Goody, without saying it, is admitting, I don't think this team has a shot to go to the Super Bowl.
Jason,
that's what he's doing.
Last year, 2008 would be the last time that happened.
And that team, which you were on, still thought it was going to be good enough. Right? Thought it was still going to be good enough to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That's
fascinating.
Yeah,
Jason. By the way, I'm in a great mood today. Great question, because you've gotten some information from Brian Gutekunst that I think should be eye-opening. At least it is to me. And I should have noticed it then. I guess just realizing that you're going to be disappointed when you have a season. But the amount of shock that I think Brian Gutekunst went through when this team couldn't pull itself out of that crummy stretch of football. Because even when they were 4-8, I think, going into Chicago, I think it was 4-8, or it might have been 4-7. When he kept saying that he believed that this team could turn it around, he believed it. And then you know what? They did it until they didn't.
Right.
And then that Detroit Lions game slapped him across the face. And I think when he walked off the field, just like Aaron Rodgers walked off the field with Randall Cobb, he thought, I'm not doing this on my watch again. Not going to happen. And sure enough, it has not happened.
Yeah, he walked out of there.
And sometimes you have to create opportunities for that to happen.
Great drop, Jesse.
Yeah.
Well done.
He walked out of there like he did along with Mark Murphy on that cold December afternoon when it was gray, and they just went up and fired Mike McCarthy. He couldn't do that with Rodgers, but that's the same feeling. We're not doing this again. All right. You said tear things down to the studs. Don't just put up some plywood and then have it be rotted out a year later. Don't do that with your bathroom. Be smart enough to call Kohler Services and say, hey, tear it down to the studs, do it all over. It's going to look amazing.
It's time for you all to just treat yourself. Get yourself a new shower this summer. Kohler Services, a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service that is brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned business in Wisconsin for 150 years. And when you think luxury, you think Wisconsin premium brand, you think of Kohler Services. It is the only manufacturer offering fast professional installation and care for life. You can start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. You visit kswisconsin.com to request a free quote. Tell them that Old T sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
We'll continue this conversation with Tausch's insights next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Stoughton Trailers. Big trailers and big opportunity at Stoughton Trailers. Positions now open in production, operations, finance, sales, engineering, supply chain, and more. To apply today, go to stojobs.com. The Badgers men's basketball non-conference schedule has been finalized ahead of this upcoming season. Some of the highlights include a home game on November 10th, their second game of the season against Tennessee, heading to Providence later that week, kicking off the Fort Myers tip-off tournament against Virginia November 20th, a home matchup with Marquette on December 2nd, and a road game at Arizona on December 9th. Other home matchups include Arkansas State, Robert Morris, Western Illinois, Jacksonville State, and Chicago State. Find the full schedule at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Bundle a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens for as low as $188 per month at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin at PellaWI.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Grassland Dairy is built by tradition right here in Wisconsin and sustained by innovation. Since 1904, the Wietrich family has worked with hundreds of dairy farmers to consistently produce the highest quality dairy products. Grassland's commitment to quality starts with the way their dairy farmers care for their cows and carries through every step of their innovative processing and delivery. They are proud to offer a wide range of reliable and nutritious dairy ingredients. Grassland Dairy is family owned in Wisconsin and has been crafting butter for 5 generations.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
Got the chains tied up on the sidelines. The officials now walking over to help on the Sun Prairie West sideline. Oh boy, we've got a referee dropping to a knee, a second referee dropping to a knee as they look to untie these chains.
Zimbrick Honda's Prep Mania is also brought to you by Canopy Wealth Management, UW Credit Union, Stoughton Trailers, the GRB Academy, and Stoughton Health.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, where vintage racing lives on. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2023 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The Aaron's Art of Wheels Vintage Weekend wraps up the 2023 Road America race season September 15th through the 17th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Listen to Madison Money Guy every Saturday morning at 7 a.m. on 100.5 ESPN and ESPNWisconsin.com.
I like to refer to inflation as the silent killer. It's an invisible risk. It's just the idea that things get more expensive over time. You're going to need milk and eggs when you're in your early 60s and when you're in your early 80s. You're going to get a loaf of bread, and it's going to be more expensive 20 years from now.
Christian Finfrock is the Madison Money Guy. Call him today at 208-1800.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Pretending like I came for nothing tonight. I said I need your love. You got me burning up. I think I'll call you Mrs. Fahrenheit. So eat me alive.
Let's get to a quick call. Then we'll hear some things from Matt LaFleur to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. Let's go to Jeff in Minneapolis. Jeff, good morning, buddy. How are you today?
How are you guys doing? Love your show. Love the dialogue you guys have. You guys do a great job.
Thank you.
Two things. One has to do with Goody, and then the other is I'd like to ask you guys a question about LaFleur and get your opinion about this. The thing about Goody with the changes he made, you know, how could he not really appreciate that if he's going to get rid of Aaron Rodgers' favorite receiver and one of the best receivers in the league, it's not going to have an impact on your team. I can't believe he didn't realize that. And I called in last year and I said this, I kind of feel like they started the rebuild last year because that's when they got all the picks for Adams and things like that. That's where I think they kind of started the rebuild. They're continuing it this year, and one of the things you got to say, and Tausch brought it up, and I know you guys, I agree with you, Jason, it's going to be an up and down year with the rookies, but man, when you see some of the potential talent they now have at receiver and tight end, I'm sure Aaron Rodgers is looking at this thinking, man, that would have been nice to have that kind of infusion when I was quarterback. So I just think that that's interesting. This is my question I have for you guys about LaFleur. You know, he said something that was a little troubling to me at one of the press conferences in the last couple of weeks about the defense. And he said, you know, our defense is flying around and playing aggressive in a way that I haven't seen here before. And it kind of troubles me because that's on him if it hasn't happened before. You know, you can blame the defensive coordinator, but LaFleur's the guy in charge, and he's got to go into that guy's office and say, this is the way I want these guys to play. And maybe that was the ultimatum he gave Barry at the end of the year was, I'll keep you, but this defense is going to have to play differently. I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts were on that.
I think that's exactly what happened, Jeff. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit. I know it's hard to keep track with how long Tausch has been out, but we talked about it.
Jason was gone for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
too.
I was. Yep.
Yeah.
Get
And
that
me
in there.
every
Yep.
Wednesday.
And
Yeah,
Jesse
so.
working from
But
home.
we're all back, at least until Wednesday.
But that let's be honest, they have Joe Barry as their defensive coordinator still, and apparently they are going to run with Jair Alexander matching up with opposing number one wide receivers. They are going to play far more press man coverage, and they are going to challenge guys at the line of scrimmage. Guess what? That is not the Vic Fangio defense that they hired Joe Barry to run. So I do think, to Jeff's point, Tausch, that that's exactly what occurred. And I don't know why you stick with a defensive coordinator if you're not going to have him run what he wants to run, but they are aggressive, and that's usually just a buzzword for defenses because that's what they want to be, but they clearly have had a change in philosophy going into this season. The other thing that he said, though, there that was interesting is, do you think the Davante thing had the effect on Aaron Rodgers, like we've talked about? We don't talk Brewers very often on this show, but the Josh Hader effect that happened to the Brewers, that had, I talk about all the time how Rodgers' interaction with his young teammates last year wasn't great, and I believe it was partly because he was so pissed at Goody about so many different things, he allowed that to infiltrate how he treated his teammates.
Yeah, but didn't he sign his deal after Davante was traded?
No, he signed it before Davante was traded.
Okay, well, I think when you look at it, I think Goody underestimated that part of it. I think he knew Davante was a good player, but I think he felt like with LaFleur, this system, and a Hall of Fame quarterback that we're paying $60 million a year to, we'll be able to adjust and make it work.
Mm-hmm.
That part, I think he was also a little bit shocked that the offense was that much worse without him. As for the question and the Joe Barry piece of it, that's why I was shocked when you went right after the season. The season was barely over. And you're like, yeah, we're going to run it back with Joe Barry. When you didn't want Joe Barry to begin with. He was your second or third choice when you hired him. And then your defense was disappointing and it wasn't as good as you thought, but it did finish strong. And now this is why I think Matt LaFleur has put himself out there, because you're asking a coordinator to do something that he obviously doesn't believe in as much as his own system. Now, you always want to revolve around your talent, but it feels like the players are kind of dictating to Joe Barry what they're going to be doing.
Correct. That's
I want player input, but I want players to buy into what my system is. When I was out at Joe Thomas's Hall of Fame deal and listening to Rondé Barber talk about a system, defensive back, he just said, you know what, I trusted Lynch. I trusted Sapp. Our system was us. But it was still the Tampa 2 basic, this is what we're going to do, and I'm going to perfect it. Now, all of a sudden, what are you hanging your hat on? What are you going to go to? We'll find out. And Matt LaFleur, this is all on Matt LaFleur. This defense, you can say what you want about Joe Barry. Matt LaFleur has mandated this to be the case. And I really do wonder what Brian Gutekunst thinks on all this, because he has been very open about critiquing Matt LaFleur's game plan, Kansas City a couple years ago. You wonder, do you think he feels like I haven't given you enough talent? I've given you 8 or 9 first-round picks that are all pretty good players by themselves. Now mold it into something that we can win with.
And to your point about Rondé Barber, maybe that's part of this with Joe Barry. Joe Barry was in Tampa with Monty Kiffin and those guys. And so it's not like he has a defense that he believes in, like Dom Capers and Blitzburg, the fire zone blitz, right? He's kind of a chameleon. Tampa 2 was his defense when he was working in Tampa and when he was moving around as a defensive coordinator the first time. Now he's supposed to be a Vic Fangio guy. Well, he's not that either, so whatever he's going to be this year, he's going to be what Matt LaFleur wants him to be, and we'll see how that plays out. I don't know what you've got on your to-do list today. There's no access for the Packers today. We're out of corn and we're out of birdseed. So I know where I'm going. I'm going to Fleet Farm. And Fleet Farm right now says if you wanted lower prices, you got them. They've dropped prices throughout their stores and online. You can look for the price drop signs to find savings on everything you need for your everyday life now at new lower prices. Fleet Farm also has everything you need to get ready for hunting season. Shop their huge selection of gear from game cameras and blinds to ammunition and camo apparel. Plus, sign up for Fleet Farm rewards, and you'll earn points on every single purchase you make. Lord knows we do that at our house. Fleet Farm, proudly serving the Midwest since 1955. We'll continue this conversation. Here's some sound bites from the head coach to kick off the 11 o'clock hour. We'll do that in 2 minutes. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here for my friends at Kohler Services. Treat yourself to a new shower this summer. Kohler Services is a local end-to-end bath and shower design and remodel service brought to you by Kohler, a family-owned in Wisconsin for 150 years. Kohler is the only manufacturer offering fast, professional installation and care for life. Start enjoying your bath or shower right now with a special offer. Visit kswisconsin.com to request your free quote and tell them that I sent you over. Again, that's kswisconsin.com.
Hi, this is Dave Kane. You're listening to Madison's Home of the Bucks, a good Karma brand radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center, brought to you by ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Subscribe to watch Wilde and Tausch, Scalzo and Brust, and all your favorite daily ESPN Wisconsin shows, plus interviews and bonus content. Subscribe to ESPN Madison and ESPN Milwaukee on YouTube. Reactions continue all day long to the Packers' preseason game Saturday night against the New England Patriots at Lambeau Field. A lot of positive commentary on the performance of quarterback Jordan Love, including from ESPN's national analysts. Get Up, complimentary of the Packers' starting quarterback this morning, including some saying that the Packers are legitimate contenders after seeing Love's performance in the preseason. Check that out over at ESPNWisconsin.com. ESPN Packers reporter Rob Domowski with all the latest from Titletown as we count down to the final preseason game for the Packers Saturday afternoon, hosting the Seattle Seahawks at Lambeau Field. Baseball, the Milwaukee Brewers, a road trip full of sweeps come to an end. They swept the White Sox, got swept by the Dodgers, and swept the first-place Texas Rangers. Cruise off today before starting a two-game set with the Twins.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour, starting at 11:08, so it's just like Tausch never left. Begins now.
Was your clock management that much better when I was gone?
Yes.
Most days.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure it was.
Okay.
I'm trying to think.
You're trying to put this on old
It was kind of tough
clock
with
management.
Bulaga.
Yeah. These right tackles.
Yeah.
They're verbose.
Homer,
Yeah.
but that's kind of to be expected. Everybody else was pretty on.
Way to go. Nice, great job.
You're
guys.
welcome for my service.
Sherlock Holmes, what does he say when all other solutions are ruled out? The one that's left must be the right one, no matter how weird it is.
I have no idea what you're talking about right
That's
now.
not exact paraphrasing.
Inspector Clouseau. I don't think that anything to do with Sherlock.
That was wow. That was really something.
By the way,
All right.
I'll tell you
I'll
what.
find that quote.
We need to figure out how to get some decent movies put out. Got this long flight. I'm excited to watch Oppenheimer or even Barbie, for Pete's sake. And nothing. Mission Impossible. They're putting these in the theaters. They're not putting them out on airplanes yet. Like, let's go. What are we doing?
When you have eliminated all which is impossible, then whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth.
I gotta be honest. We didn't need you to clarify that. We had already moved on to Tausch.
I just wanted to prove I had a quote
movies
there.
on the airplanes.
Here's the deal.
Sherlock Holmes.
Kevin
Good
Garnett
movie.
said anything's possible or nothing's impossible. That would have been a better quote. Than
Anything's possible,
whatever
yeah.
Inspector Clouseau deal was.
All right. So, in the interest of time management, I do want to get to the two different clips of Matt LaFleur talking. Plus, we've got trivia. Plus, we've got Won't
Jason, there's just there was not literally one new release that I was remotely interested in watching.
All right,
Sounds like more of a you problem.
Let's do this. Wait a minute now.
Let me tell you
No. Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
Because you do a lot more traveling than I do. I still have not been on an airplane since the 2019 NFC Championship game in San Francisco. I have not flown since then. It's been a long time. So, as a movie watcher on airplanes with all the traveling you've done, with more traveling ahead with the Badgers as you get ready for your road games on the Badgers radio network.
Pullman, Washington.
Long trip.
How is it typically with these movies? Because, look, the fact that you expected Oppenheimer or Barbie or the latest Mission Impossible to be available on your plane, I thought, these just got to the theaters, and now you're on an airplane.
What do you mean just got to? Mission Impossible's been out since the 4th of July. That's like a month and a half. What are we doing?
So explain to me what your expectations are generally for new releases on your airplane.
Yeah, I wanted new movies. I wanted something new.
But is that generally the case?
Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, I thought, but not in this case. So basically, there's been so many movies that have been busts that I think they just throw them out there. Some of these movies got thrown out right away. During the pandemic, they'd put movies out right on streaming because you couldn't go in to the theaters. But the idea that Oppenheimer or Barbie or the Mission, I understand Oppenheimer and Barbie. They're big hits. They've only been out like a month. So I was kind of hoping when we were returning that one of those two would be out. They weren't. But Mission Impossible, you got every Mission Impossible you could think of, and that one, the new one's not out yet. And I really wanted to see it on the plane. But I'll tell you this, a movie that I think is underrated, that I watched again, and it is long, which was good because it was a long flight. Benjamin Button might be one of the more underrated movies we've ever seen. Ben Button. Great movie. Great movie.
Is that a new release?
It's like 15 years ago.
It was under, so the only movies I would watch, they were under Epic, it was under Epic Movies. And Benjamin Button was under Epic Movies, but I don't think most people think of it as an Epic. It might be Brad Pitt's best job he's done as an actor. Ben Button.
The Curious Case of Benjamin Button. 2 hours and 46 minutes, released in 2008.
And I wanted it to be 3 hours and 50 minutes. That's what I was hoping for. But yeah, it was good.
I don't know if
that makes me wonder, would you want to live life like Ben Button did it? Where everything is reversed? Because does it really matter when you start thinking about Ben Button's life? I don't know.
Did Brad Pitt get any big nominations? Did he win any awards?
No, I think Shape of Water won it that year. I think Shape of Water beat Ben Button.
I can look that up in a minute. I'm trying to Google how quickly do movies get to airplanes from theaters, and I'm having a tough time finding any information. But I'm trying to help you out, old T.
Anyways, the bottom line on it, very disappointed in the lack of good new movies that have been out. But I've said that for years, so that's not anything earth-shattering.
Nominated for Best Picture, Best Director, Best Actor in a Leading Role, Best Actress in a Supporting Role. The 3 wins for Benjamin Button, or as he's being referred to on our program, Ben Button. Best Art Direction, Best Makeup, which makes sense,
makeup.
Right?
Yep.
And also Best Visual Effects. So there you go. If you're on an airplane and you're saying, why aren't they showing me Oppenheimer? Watch Benjamin Button instead. Is that the lesson here?
That's what I did, and I just think Brad Pitt gets a lot of love from a lot of people. I think that's his greatest flick that he put out was Ben Button. Great movie. I digress.
All right, I wanted to get to some of the things Matt LaFleur said, but now that you're back, we'll just do them tomorrow. That's the beauty of you being back. We can get to him talking about Jordan Love and the risks of preseason and the fact that he's going to play against the Seahawks, despite those risks, tomorrow. Because next, we need to play trivia. Jesse, I assume you have a very special category for today.
As a matter of fact, I do, Jason. Movies on airplanes.
Lisbon, Portugal.
No. It's the sports weekend recap, because it's Monday. But it's actually the sports 2 weeks while Tausch was out recap. Ooh. So Tausch can actually play along like it's a Wisconsin Geography Wednesday. Coincidentally, not just because he doesn't have his show sheet in front of him. So Tausch can play along to see if he's up to date on current events. And not only could this be a recap of anything that happened this weekend, but from the last 2 weeks while Tausch was gone. Everything's fair game.
All right, Jesse, what caller would you like?
How many days were you overseas, Tausch? 10?
36.
It seemed like a lot, yeah.
Let's say 10.
No, I was thinking Ben Button, how many years he lived, and I don't know the answer to that. So, yeah, 10's a good number. Let's do 10.
Caller 10 right now, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776 for Wilde and Tausch Trivia. Before we play that, Tausch is going to tell us about AmFam, who I'm sure insured him carefully while he dreamed fearlessly in Porto.
Yes, they did. And you know what? I'm excited. I'm doing the Badger games. We're excited about the season. Excited to head out to Pullman, Washington. And Badger fans, American Family Insurance wants to give you and a friend a VIP experience and a Badger football or basketball game this season. You and a friend receive pregame sideline or courtside passes, tour of the facility, and tons of great merch to support your Wisconsin Badgers. You can enter today at amfam.com/Badgers. That's amfam.com/Badgers. No purchase is necessary. Dream fearlessly. Insure carefully.
Trivia's next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tosher here for Chalmers Jewelers. Well, it's always a good time to get that special someone in your life a beautiful gift. And when I'm in need of a new piece of jewelry, Chalmers Jewelers is my go-to place. Whether I want a timeless classic or a one-of-a-kind piece, Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison has just what I'm looking for. My life has been made so much easier thanks to the great team over at Chalmers Jewelers, and is the reason I keep going back for more. Visit chalmersjewelers.com to find your perfect new piece of jewelry today.
The traditions.
There's no team I love more than this team.
The drama.
Launching downfield, all the way to the end zone.
Only 5 days until week 0. College football lives here. ESPN Radio.
Take it to the house this season and enjoy tailgating from your own backyard. Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. You can win game day gear for your next gathering by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Be sure to enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill, a Broommate back tap for batch cocktails, or a Tito's football jersey. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 years old to enter. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
You want to feel important. You want to be a part of something bigger, something that matters and can help change things. You want to feel like you belong. We know. We felt that way too. And that's why we did something about it. We aren't just Army National Guard soldiers. We are normal people just like you. And together, we can make a difference. Take on your legacy. Visit NationalGuard.com to find out more.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, I'm attorney David Gruber. After an accident, you need a trusted winning team on your side. For more than 30 years, Gruber Law Offices has helped Wisconsin families get the results they deserve. If you've been injured, call our firm today for a free consultation. We're available 24/7. Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices, proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
You can drive cutting-edge design. 2023 Audis are on the lot and ready for delivery. You can save $7,500 on select Audi EVs with the AFS EV lease bonus. See dealer for detail and exclusions. Eligibility is subject to credit approval through Audi Financial Services. Cannot be combined with National Customer Credit. Offer expires September 5th. Stop in and test drive today. Check out our website to see our current electric vehicle inventory and our monthly specials. The search for your Audi begins and ends at Zimbrick Audi of Madison, off the Beltline and Rimrock Road. Drive yours today.
Investing in commercial real estate is never simple. From acquiring a property to managing the day-to-day, even the best investors need a partner they can trust. Rely on the agents at RE/MAX and the Preferred Commercial Group to build your desired lifestyle in real estate. Whether you want someone to take the wheel or just need a second opinion, head to commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN and find an investment partner to lead the way to your property dreams today. That's commercialwisconsin.com/ESPN.
It's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust for Road America, where vintage racing lives on. Experience the sights, sounds, and smells from motorsport's pioneering age in historic Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. Road America's 2023 season offers numerous opportunities to watch vintage race cars take on the iconic 4-mile road course. The Aaron's Art of Wheels Vintage Weekend wraps up the 2023 Road America race season September 15th through the 17th. Get your tickets today at roadamerica.com. Road America, America's National Park of Speed.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed. Oh, yeah? Yeah, he's starting with the whoops. Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Wilde and Tausch on 100.5 ESPN is brought to you by Everlight Solar. Save money, save the planet. Everlight Solar.
Tausch is back for trivia, but it's not Wednesday, so he will be participating, or won't you? Since you don't have the show sheet, are we reading these all, or are you in on this?
You playing or you're reading?
Well,
okay, that's
Jesse,
what I thought.
because he screwed up the video component to this, I can't pull my video down to pull up the screen, and it's a whole lot.
By the way, the portion of you that we're able to see is getting smaller and smaller as you set up your phone.
That tree
up
is growing
against
rapidly.
Some piece of wood. Yeah, well, I don't know what that is. It's widening, though, and there's a lot less room of you than there was a minute ago. All right, well, then I want
to show how beautiful the alleys can be. I want to start forming this alleyway.
And you're talking with your hands, and we can't even see your hand.
The fact that you're not interested in the alley system and how Europe is so much better, it's irritating to me.
We got no. Wait a minute now. We got a text earlier from someone who and Jesse, you could call this up if you can. I know that's asking a lot, like the audio clip earlier, to trim it down like Tausch wanted. But somebody texted in about Nashville, and that was what I was going to bring up. Is that entertainment district in Nashville where it felt like we spent every preseason. Like it felt like we finished the preseason in Nashville like 10 years in a row.
Mm-hmm.
But you go down to the honky-tonks, and then there seem to be these alleys where you get into some of the establishments, and they have like murals on the walls and stuff like that. So they have the alley program there. That was the first thing I thought of.
They're trying.
Oh, do you want them to try or not?
First off, when have you ever been in a honky-tonk?
Multiple times. Big
There's no
honky-tonk guy.
No,
yes.
You are the most anti-honky-tonker.
Every time. I love good live music.
You'd go to an opera. Like I could see you at an opera.
I would do that too.
When's the last time you saw live music besides Pink?
Well, we saw Matt Carney in Door County. We saw our friend Willie Porter at a winery, and you know I'm not a winery guy.
Wow.
There you go, Jesse.
So
dang.
Take that.
Chris, it was Chris in La Crosse.
Okay,
I'm totally on board with Tausch. Nashville's Printers Alley. I've been there. I saw another one in Seattle. Can't remember the name. Light them up. Paint murals on the wall. It's quaint and feels like you enter a different little world.
And you're less likely to get
alleys.
mugged.
We need better alleys than what we got. That's what we need.
All right. We also need to play trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant as Tausch's video screen continues to shrink. All you're going to be able to see is like one of his eyes and half of his goatee.
Oh, no.
There we go.
Oh, my God. Be sure to watch on Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube our video stream. Let's welcome in Jeff and Racine. Jeff, good morning. How are you today?
Well, I'm doing pretty good. I'm about as comfortable as Jason in a honky-tonk.
Oh, so you're very comfortable then.
Yeah.
You're such a weirdo.
What are you doing?
I'm making an alley.
Okay. Jeff, let's play trivia, and we'll let Tausch continue to mess around with his video. If you're not watching on YouTube right now, I'd like to say it's your loss, but it's really not. Let's go with question 1, Jeff.
Okay.
And again, the category, normally the sports weekend recap. Instead, for our purposes, it is the sports 2 weeks while Tausch was out recap. Question number 1 is this. Which of these teams signed free agent running back Ezekiel Elliott last week? Was it the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, or the Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
That would be the New England Patriots.
1 for 1.
Now, did he go to Winnebago State, or was he at Ohio State?
I think he was he entered the transfer portal from Winnebago Tech, and that's how he ended up at Ohio State. All right, question 2, Jeff, is this. Which former Packers assistant coach, now with the Carolina Panthers, did Aaron Rodgers greet with a series of profane remarks about his weight in last week's second episode of Hard Knocks?
Yeah, I know this one, Jason. I know this one.
Was it Winston Moss, Luke Getsy, or James Campen?
Well, since I don't watch Hard Knocks, this is going to be a toughie. But I'm going to say Luke Getsy.
And the perfect week ends after 2 questions. James Campen, the offensive line coach for the Panthers, once coached one Mark Tauscher, and apparently is a little heavier than he had promised the quarterback he would be when training camp commenced.
Boy, A-Rod looks a lot skinnier than normal, too, doesn't he? I just saw him.
He was standing next to Campen.
That's not very nice.
Well, no, I'm just saying, he said he was
sorry.
overweight.
Why don't you take your shirt off? Let's see what you look like, Jason. Throwing stones like that at my boy Campy.
No, he looks like he's in great shape. I don't know if he looks skinnier, though. Would you say he looks wiry? Spindly?
He looks a lot skinnier than he has. Like, he looks noticeably skinnier than what he's been.
Interesting.
Jesse?
He looks thin.
There you go.
Well done. Question 3, Jeff. Let's bounce back.
Like Tausch on the video stream.
Question 3. Which of these is the only Major League Baseball team that entering play today would be a playoff team, but would not have been when Tausch's vacation began on August 8th? Okay, so on August 8th, this team would not have been a playoff team. Today, on August 21st, entering play, this team would be in the playoffs. Is this team the Minnesota Twins, the Seattle Mariners, or the Chicago Cubs? And holy cow, is this hard.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
33% chance.
Yeah, I'll say Seattle Mariners.
Subject to fact-checking verification, because this strikes me as maybe an overreach by Jesse, and then he had to figure some things out. So there's a chance. There's a chance he might have this factually inaccurate, but you got the answer that he says is correct. So, well done, Jeff. You got 2 out of 3 correct. Don't cross your arms at me. You do not have a good enough track record to not ever be doubted or questioned.
Fair, but you can't ask a question like this and not fact-check it.
Oh, yes, you could.
Baseball reference. August 8th, looked at the standings. Today, looked at the standings. Cubs would have been in. Every team would be the same in the playoff picture today as they were 2 weeks ago, except for the Mariners, who have won 6 or 8 straight or something. They're hot.
So the Brewers would have been in the playoffs on August 8th, and they would be in the playoffs on August 21st.
They were a game up in the division August 8th. They are 3 games up entering play today. Yes.
Well done, Jeff. You got 2 out of 3 right. That gives you 3 of the possible 4 entries into Friday's drawing. We appreciate your loyalty to the show, buddy. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.
That is Wilde and Tausch Trivia. We have Whoa Nelly next, but before we play it, I have a Would You Rather that I think would be pretty good, that I think Eleanor would find interesting, and I'm hoping Tausch would. I will do that, and we will do Whoa Nelly next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
For official rules and more information about every contest on 100.5 ESPN, visit ESPNWisconsinContests.com. That's ESPNWisconsinContests.com. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN and the ESPN app.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
The GRB Rays have established themselves as one of the top baseball programs in the Midwest and the country. GRB is hosting its annual Top Prospect Camp on Saturday, October 7th. Position players, pitchers, and catchers can showcase their skills for over 40 college coaches scheduled to attend. Registration is open to all players in the 2024 to 27 graduating years, and spots are available on a first-come, first-served basis. Sign up today at grbacademy.com. That's grbacademy.com. Raise baseball, raise your game.
I'm coming.
Hi, Mark Tauscher. Tausch, you have mosquitoes in here.
It's like an insect zoo right now at my house. Here comes that wasp again. Incoming.
Shoo, you need Pella's 250 series of windows with exclusive hidden screens, protecting you from nature.
Yes, please. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin to the rescue.
Get a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens as low as $188 per month. PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. See showroom for details. Offer ends 8/31/23.
Life's better with an auto policy from American Family Insurance. No matter what dreams you're driving towards. That's because our expert agents will make you feel totally protected with the right auto coverage at the right price. You'll also save up to 23% when you bundle auto with home. American Family Insurance. Get a quote, find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin sports. Catch up on anything you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand. Brought to you by Zimbrick Honda, a proud supporter of Wisconsin Badger Athletics. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Honda, shop local, part of the Madison community since 1973.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
My eye doctor gives me a lot of great advice, but the best piece of advice she ever gave me was where to go for LASIK. TLC Laser Eye Centers. Did you know that TLC has performed over 2.3 million LASIK procedures nationally, including treatment for over 10,000 doctors? Doctors recommend TLC because that's who they trust with their eyes. So book your free consultation now at TLC Laser Eye Centers, the doctor's choice for LASIK.
Right now, TLC is offering 20% off LASIK when treated in August. That can be over $900 off when treating both eyes. So call 888-TLC-2020 or visit saveontlc.com. That's saveontlc.com. The doctor's choice for LASIK. Must mention this promotion and be treated in August of 2023 to qualify. 20% off standard price of procedure. Cannot be combined with any other offers. Go to saveontlc.com for details.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
Trying to do what everybody else doing, just cause everybody doing what they all do. If one thing.
All right, before we get to Whoa Nelly, we had a bit of a situation today, actually in the last 24 hours, that I thought would be a perfect would you rather. Okay? So when Paula was a kid, growing up in the mean streets of Sheboygan, she would pick up hickory nuts. And if you pick up hickory nuts and you do a number of them, like we collected a big basket of them, they leave an ink-like substance on your fingers, which can last for up to 6 months if not thoroughly scrubbed off. Okay? So Maddie has some ink-like hickory nut juice on her hands. She's concerned about her hands being inky. Then this morning, I walk out to walk the dogs, and our garage stinks. And I'm like, oh, is there a dead animal in here, etc.? Paula investigates, and she had purchased this liquid that you put on your apple tree that smells bad, that keeps the deer from eating your apples. And apparently the bottle had leaked in our garage. So I went to take that and throw it away, but of course I stupidly did not put gloves on before I picked up the leaky bottle. So now my hands stink. And my question for you, Mark Tauscher, and by extension Eleanor, who loves her would you rathers, would you rather have your fingers smell bad because of this deer repellent, or would you rather have them look inked up because of picking up hickory nuts?
I don't think
this is not as good as I thought it was?
No, this is good. Okay. Listen, I love when you bring content to the show. It's so rare that I always enjoy it.
Yeah. Should have heard all the content I brought the last 2 weeks.
I did, and I'm glad to be back. So I think when you look at people get tattoos, right? They don't get
scratch
stinky,
and sniff.
Yeah, you get scratch, but it's like the stuff that you put in your car, like deodorant, and it smells good. I don't know anybody that says, give me more stank in my life. Does anybody say that?
No,
you know
nobody's saying that.
For? Let me find stank. But you do find people that say, I like a little ink. I like tattoos. I like this. So for me, it's easy. I would much rather have a little bit of acorn ink on my fingers rather than have stankalicious. Well, how long does it stink, though? If it stinks for like a day or two, then I have to think, do I want 6 weeks, 6 months of ink on my hands? But if it stinks for the same amount of time, it's a no. But then the stink won't even notice the stink because it's there all the time. I'm sticking with my initial gut reaction. Give me the ink, not the stank.
All right. I have washed my hands 8 times this morning. It has lessened it. Paula's got this great soap that smells like Fruit Loops, which is awesome. Love it. It's still, I can still smell the stuff. So as Daryl in Deerfield inquires, inky or stinky? Could be a new segment brought to you by like Delzer, because they do a lot of printing, with ink. I would vote for inky too, by the way, because this is unpleasant.
Now, this is a weird thing though. When you're filling up your car, do you kind of like when you get
love
a little
the smell
gas
of gasoline? Oh my God!
Do you not love the smell of gas?
No, I love the fact that we once had this conversation on this show.
Well, not everybody listens every day.
No, they don't. But you've always stood by your smell of gasoline not being as gross as people may assume it is. And I believe then and now, I agree with you. Now, I don't want to be carrying that smell for too long, but initially, I don't know if it's a contact high thing or what, but the smell does not bother me. I don't dislike it. Speaking of things I don't dislike, time now for Whoa Nelly.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocco's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
Well, I had a little plan here. But then I saw Tausch tweeted a video this morning.
What? I didn't know he knew how to do that.
First off, I don't know how to do that. And second off, Sarah, who has been a great IT, she's been a great teammate. She put it up, but she put it on the replies, which I don't know why she did that or how. And she couldn't figure out how to do it, so she took it down and tried to repost it. So I said, the heck with it. We'll just stick with where it goes. So it's under my replies, which I want it to be on my thing because I wanted to do something really risque this morning, and she talked me off the ledge. So I saw the Fickle thing.
Swim shirt?
I heard you know that'll be another thing that I'm going to talk about. Swim pants. I'm going to talk to you about tomorrow or Tuesday or Wednesday. We had some issues, forgot some packing, had to do some adjusting in the old Atlantic Ocean.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
There's some intrigue that comes with that, but I wanted to do, because I loved Fickle's. I thought Fickle's thing was really funny, and I had a couple of different ways I wanted to go. I wanted to call him Vrabes. Didn't think that was going to be funny. And then after watching Benjamin Button, which, let's be honest, is basically Brad Pitt's Forrest Gump to Tom Hanks. That's what that was.
Sure, chops.
We're up in Sturgeon Bay. I'm at the golf course, so immediately once the show's done, I'm going out to play. And they have these great park benches by the bay. I wanted to do a Forrest Gump recollection with Sarah's mom sitting next to me, and I said, I don't recall 1996. I do recall 1999 when we put up 42 points on them Ohio State Buckeyes. But Sarah talked me off the ledge, said my Southern accent is worse than my pirate accent.
Oh, my God.
Told me this would be a monumentally stupid thing for you to do. So while I had bread that I was going to feed pigeons and have Sarah's mom be a prop in a Forrest Gump reclamation project, talking back to Luke Fickle, she talked me off the ledge and I didn't do it.
I just would like to state, for the record,
I do declare that was great. And Ron Dane was running. He run all over the Buckeyes defense.
I think this was a genius idea. I mean, absolute genius.
Yeah, I like the idea, but
execution.
I don't think I was going to pull it off the way I wanted to, so we didn't do it.
That's the thing about potential, right? Doesn't matter how much potential you have, it gets you fired if you don't execute.
So what do you guys think? Is my Forrest Gump as bad as Sarah
That's
thought it
not
was?
Forrest Gump.
I don't know what that was.
That's
what do you mean?
Foghorn Leghorn playing lawyer in a courtroom.
I have a real hard time with accents. It's just not. Although my Portuguese accent, ironically, is pretty good. Obrigado. Obrigado.
Now say Jenny.
Jenny. Hey, Jenny.
It's bad. I am not a smart man, Jenny.
And Ron Dane was running.
What love is.
And Ron Dane was running.
I feel like
it's a good line.
I feel like with some coaching, this could have worked, but you obviously wanted to respond fairly quickly because your accent sucks. There's no
already a week and a half
sugarcoating it. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Wow.
So since we've ignored Whoa Nelly here anyway, I do know that one of our mutual friends, who will remain nameless,
Life is like a box of chocolates. You never know who you're going to beat, but you're going to beat Ohio State in 1999. These are all the ideas that I had brought up.
I heard a little bit of the Irish Pirates sneaking in toward the end there, actually.
I'm convinced that that's the only go-to that I got.
No one's Forrest Gump is this bad.
It's true.
Just add an A before the Y and say Jenny. Everyone can do that.
Hey, Jenny.
Yeah!
Jenny.
See? All you needed was some coaching.
There's no Jenny that I'm talking, but it's about Ron and beating up on Ohio State and forgetting about who cares about 1996. That was my point on this whole deal.
Yeah. I thought the video, which will only be seen in the feeds of people who follow both the show and you, unfortunately, was good. I am curious, as I mentioned, one of our mutual friends got very irritated when that video came out. He thought that it was Luke Fickell not being prepared to know who you were. I don't think he got the joke, and he was a little protective of old boy. I said, no, I think he's kidding, and I think the more you listen to it, you realize he's giving you grief. But
for sure,
you knew right away that he was teasing
Jason, in fairness, I didn't know I was on the team in 1996. I think the only people that did were my mom and dad. Nobody else knew. Matter of fact, most people don't even remember that I was on the team until 1999, which, again, 42 straight unanswered down at the shoe.
Yeah. Ron Dane felt like running.
Oh, he run all over them Buckeyes now.
No, stop! You were doing so well.
Whoa, Nelly!
Until you weren't. Okay.
And Brooks Bollinger was a great day. Yeah.
I don't even know what that actually is.
Yeah, this is why I think we made the right call going with this video compared to the GNA.
Why did you add an L in Brooks?
Yeah, I feel like because the only dialogues I do now are these stupid pirate ones, and I always bring some pirate into my transformation.
You would have been better off and closer to Forrest Gump if you would have gone Morgan Freeman than whatever this was.
My friend.
Yes.
My friend.
At least it's in the same area code.
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was glad that A-Rod didn't put an Instagram post up on Devontae because I got crushed on the last 10. And I don't think the weird part about this is I always feel like I want to improve. I feel like it's getting worse as I've been going.
Yeah, that's very fair. But it's all worth it because we got a tease for tomorrow's show about Tausch's swim pants, which I can't wait to hear more about. Tausch is back. We will wrap up his first show back coming up. Jesse, I'm sorry that we took up all of your Whoa Nelly.
That was worth it.
No, you're not.
We never even heard the video that he did post, but I feel like what we got was better anyway.
Well, let's play it to end the show. Can you do that?
Yeah.
I don't want to ask you to do something from a technology standpoint that you're not capable of.
I appreciate that.
I've asked him 3 things that he should be capable of that he couldn't do, so we have that.
All right. Well, we may or may not hear.
What are you shaking your head about there, young
Mr.
buck?
Click the link to get on the video. Oh, send it to me over here. I can't find it. Oh.
Wait, was that your Forrest Gump? More
That's
next.
his old tee.
Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, brought to you by Grassland Butter. Grassland Dairy is Wisconsin. Learn more at grasslandbutter.com.
Join the Wisconsin Badgers when Camp Randall Stadium comes alive again this fall. Now is your chance to be there when Coach Fickell and the team takes the field on September 2nd. Don't wait. Lock in your spot for game day today. For more information and to purchase your Wisconsin football tickets, visit uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS. That's uwbadgers.com or call 1-800-GO-BADGERS.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you at greatdanepub.com. The Badgers men's basketball non-conference schedule has been finalized ahead of this upcoming season. Some of the highlights include a home game on November 10th, their second game of the season against Tennessee, heading to Providence later that week, kicking off the Fort Myers tip-off tournament against Virginia on November 20th, a home matchup with Marquette on December 2nd, and a road game at Arizona on December 9th. Other home matchups include Arkansas State, Robert Morris, Western Illinois, Jacksonville State, and Chicago State. Find the full schedule at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Bundle a 250 series patio door and 8 double-hung windows with hidden screens for as low as $188 per month at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin at PellaWI.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
John Hayes for Goodman's Jewelers. Help us celebrate 90 years in business by visiting us at 220 State Street. We've been a part of a lot of great moments, and we want to add to those special occasions. Our staff is here to help you make that perfect selection for your memorable moment. Come see firsthand why Goodman's Jewelers has withstood the test of time and why we're truly a destination worth reaching. Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store of Madison, and a whole lot more. Goodman'sJewelers.com.
The best is at Goodman's.
What does it take to make a diamond? Extreme heat and pressure and about 1 billion years. But you can't wait that long. What do? You go to Goodman's Jewelers. I'm John Hayes from Goodman's Jewelers. There's a reason we are the Diamond Store of Madison. Since 1933, we provided outstanding service and selection to our customers, and that in turn has helped to establish countless great memories through the years. Goodman'sJewelers.com, located at 220 State Street, truly a destination worth reaching.
What does summer sound like in a new Chevy? Find the best way to the ballpark with the Chevy Equinox navigation system. Load up the kayaks with room to spare in the spacious Chevy Trailblazer with 60/40 split folding rear seats. Haul out the camper and spend a night roasting marshmallows with the Chevy Silverado. Or feel the roar of the crowd and bring the whole crew along in the Chevy Traverse with seating for up to 8. So what are you waiting for? This summer, happiness is a new Chevy. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today. Traverse seating up to 8 standard and LS available on LT with second row bench seat, RS Premier, and High Country seat 7.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Tito's wants to make sure you have the best tailgate on the block. Win game day gear by entering to win at Tito'sTailgate.com. Enter by November 15th for your chance to win a Solo Stove Grill or a Brewmate. For official rules, visit Tito'sTailgate.com. Must be 21 plus to enter.
I am not Frank Caliendo, Jenny, but I know I'm a better imitator than Tausch is. Forrest Gump, Tausch, did do a video accepting his congratulations that he received from Luke Fickell for becoming the new full-time color analyst on the Badgers radio network alongside Jesse's reluctant adopted father, Matt LePay. Here is the video in which Tausch did not, in fact, do his Forrest Gump.
Man, I'm excited to be back on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to 12 on all ESPN Wisconsin stations, and I'm also really excited to be working with Matt LePay on all of the Badger broadcast games this season. And, you know, I have to admit, Coach Fickell, I don't remember much about the 1996 season, But I remember a lot about the 1999 game when we went into Columbus, fell behind by 17, and then threw up 42 straight on the Buckeyes, leading us to a Big Ten championship and back-to-back Rose Bowls, which has never been done before by any Big Ten team. And we're all excited as Badger fans to see what you and your staff are going to do, taking this program even to bigger heights. We couldn't be more excited about this upcoming season.
Let's go.
This is why Tausch is next level. Because he starts that with a promotion for our program.
Well, Jason, here's the
outstanding.
deal. That was obviously, I love this show. I had multiple people text me and ask if I was done doing the show with you guys.
Just on Fridays on road trips.
No, I don't know.
You
if
did
that's
disappear for
true.
2 weeks when the announcement was made, so it's
also true.
Well, there was some. Yeah,
you know what Sherlock Holmes always says.
No,
I remember
nor
he
do
said
you.
nothing is impossible. But of course, I'm going to throw a plug in. Absolutely.
No, yeah, that's great.
I was going to get Pella windows and also Coors and Tito's and
Like Leroy Butler going into the Hall of Fame.
That might have been a little much, so I just stuck with what we know.
All right. Well, we're happy that you're back. We are thrilled for you to be the full-time color analyst on all 12 Badgers home and road games for this season coming up on the Badgers Radio Network. And we're excited for Matt LePay, who I'm sure he's going to have a great time with you on those road trips. If you have to maybe skip an occasional Friday when you're headed out to Pullman or wherever it might be, we're ready for that because we had a great run of great cousin subs.
Are you going to sit by Pops on the plane every time, or are you guys going to try and get some space because you'll be?
So
hanging
here
out
was
so
one
long.
of the things.
Tausch is going to sit in middle seats.
Here's one of the things that was mandated, and I think it was actually more by Matt than by me. We will sit together, I think is the plan, but there will be a seat between us, hopefully. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I get on that plane and it's me, our producer Dave McGann, and Matt LePay, I ain't gonna be happy. Dave ain't gonna
Neither
be happy.
are they.
Matt is certainly not gonna be happy.
All right, that's it for us today. We're thrilled to have Tausch back. We'll do it again tomorrow. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available